pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girls they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything that the dude does is stupid, any kind of abuse, anything. Y'all like, what in the world? Who is that? See these bags under my eyes? Okay. Look, you hear my voice? I am so freaking exhausted. I told my friend, I'm that cooking thing where you be cooking all day, 2 or 3 days before the house. I'm not doing that ever again. I made 10 sweet potato pies. I made a peach cobbler. I made black eyed peas. I made okra, shrimp, and corn and tomato gumbo. What else did I make? I'm leaving out something. But anyway, I was cooking for like 3 days, and then the holidays came, and I'm still tired. I still have not caught up with my rest because you get to the point where you get so tired you can't sleep, and that's where I am. I go to sleep and I wake up, and so now but I didn't want to cancel the show again but that's why I'm doing it earlier. Hey, giggles, because I figured out something. If I do it this early like this, it's 6 on the East Coast, so I'm catching them at a decent time. But it's a little early for my West Coast people. They probably still at work. But I have to do it now because if I try to wait till 5 or 6 o'clock, I'm gonna be face down on the couch just like I was the last couple of days. So I had to keep changing the show. So we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it today. All right. So yeah, I was over on TikTok earlier. I forgot the little girl's name, and she was making a rant about how stupid Jews were, and then she said, "How come nobody talks about, the problems with men and how they are today?" I'm thinking, where has she been? So I, politely typed, "Little girl, please." I was talking about this before you was even born. So go visit the channel, and don't ever say nobody said that ever again, because I've been saying that for 30 something years that men are crazy and they haven't done nothing to prove me wrong yet. Yeah, no, it's just something about it. I can't put my finger on it. Like, what happened? Must be that testosterone. That's the only thing I can think. That's the only thing they all have in common. Because they different ages, they different races, whatever. Oh, it has to go back, girl. No, I mean it's just too much. I can't do it. It's just too much. I mean, maybe if I just cook for like me and my daughter or something, or a couple of people, that's one thing. But you can dealing with 60 clowns. I'm like, oh no, can't do it. Too old. Not doing no more. So anyway, let's move on and talk about something I can talk about and something I can do with the little bit of energy I have left. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Let's move on to question number one. I think how many do we got today? Oh yeah, it says 25 on the cover sheet. He wants to know, oh, he's 35 to 41 from London. It says London area of England. Summary of issue, am I a bad partner? I'm a 39-year-old man who met a single mother with 2 children. She's 10 years younger than me. We have been together for 19 months, and in that time, I feel like I have done a lot. She moved in with me after 7 months, and after 6 months at mine, I moved into a new apartment with her. I paid for the renovations and did the work myself. Her previous partner was abusive, so I understand some of her actions, but the overall picture is starting to leave me feeling a little lost. I'm a keen gym goer and sportsman and have given up some of that to be more available, but I stick to my gym routine mostly during the week during working hours, and I cook dinner every evening for everyone. On the weekends, I cook breakfast, and on Sunday, I cook a roast. Holidays, meals out, shopping, rent, etc. is all paid by me, and she gets to keep her child support money from the dad, and she also works. A trend is developing where if I come home a little later than usual from work or wish to work on the weekends or go to the gym with a friend on Saturday morning, it's a problem. Last night, I told her I'd be back a little later than usual and asked if she wanted anything from the shops. When I got home, she said it was too late and she wanted to cook because my cooking takes too long and she was in a mood. This morning, I said I wanted to see a business contact to go over some details and go to the gym with him, and she did not like it. Meanwhile, she has now gone out to get her nails done. Jealousy is a running theme which seems a little mad because in the 19 months I haven't been out to any parties or trips without her. Yet she has been to is this Ibiza and on a few nights out, and I was okay with that. She says to me that it's my job as a man to provide these things, yet she comes from a broken home and was raised by a single mother relative. I come from a strong family where everybody has stayed together. Our Nook Nook life is good, and I do feel she loves me, but I'm beginning to feel afraid of even asking to leave the house to do anything other than shopping or work. Am I overreacting, or is this just what life is like once you're in a domestic situation like this? No, it's like that when you're weak. Dude, let me explain something to you. You are an adult, okay? You don't ask for shit. You don't ask for permission. You tell her this is what I'm going to do and this is where I'm going to go. And if I tell want to, then this is when I'll be back. But I might not decide. I might decide not to come back that time. But I'm just saying, that's my rough estimate. Now, what is going to happen? She's going to feel upset because she's used to having control over you that you have given her. People don't have, yeah, he's afraid. And he talking about and ask. He says every time I ask to do anything, even asking to leave the house to do anything other than shopping and work, you don't ask permission. You just tell her where you're going. Okay. You say, oh, I'm headed out to the gym. I'll see you guys when I get back. Kiss, kiss out. Okay? And if she wanna make a sour face and stuff, that's her red flag, and I mean, she has every right to do whatever the fuck she wanna do with her face. Okay? You don't tell her what to do with her face. If she wanna look stupid, then just let her look stupid. But, see, and you talk about business contacts, and see, this is your money now, your business, this is your future that you're talking about, and you get putting all this, in her hands. You already taking care of her and her raggedy ass kid, letting him do that. You so she keeps the child support. You're paying for everything. No woman in this world should be complaining about shit with a setup like that. Okay? Her kid gets to be in a nice renovated apartment with somebody who obviously cares about the child's safety and comfort. She cares, you care. So the kid is in a great situation. The one who's having problems is you, and you the one who should never be having a problem because all the responsibility and support that you're providing to these two people that are not your wife and not your kid. So you need to sit her down and you need to write her, look, I'm doing this stuff for you because I love you, but don't take my kindness for weakness. You keep acting stupid like this shit here could end because there ain't nothing in your name and you ain't paying shit. But you need to remember that. And if I want to go somewhere, when I go, I'm going to go. And you don't have to like it, but it's not going to stop me. I'm telling you that shit that you've been doing here ends as of today. Okay, now you seem like a very genteel, politely, well-raised young man. You don't seem like you have this in you, but I'm telling you, you better find it. What's up, Mo? Yeah, giggles. Nothing's wrong with getting her nails done, honey Lamour. But if she's gonna complain about him going to the gym with his business partner to talk business while they work out, then she turn around and go somewhere right after. Bitch, what's the difference? What's the difference? He's going somewhere with it to do business, and you just going to sit in the chair and get your nails done. He's doing something at least as important that's gonna make the money to take care of you and your raggedy ass kid in his house. But she want to complain about it. You see what I'm point? That's my point. It's not that there's anything wrong with getting her nails done. She should get her nails done if that's what she want to do. But what she should never do is try to keep him from doing what the stuff he wants to do for himself that brings him joy and pleasure and makes him feel better about himself, just like she's doing about herself with her nails. See, she's a hypocrite, and I'm not feeling it at all. Girl, Mo, the drama done started from letter number one. You know how these people are. Question number two, female, 35 to 41 from Phoenix, Arizona. The male's also 35 to 41. Summary of issue. My boyfriend leaves all the gift giving to me. Well, that's because you dumb. What's up, Ash? This might not be a bad time for the show, huh? See, this is the first time I've ever done it this early, during the week anyway. My partner's 37. He always leaves a gift buying to me. I'm 38. We've been dating for 10 plus years. Wow, well, there's your first mistake. He doesn't put any money towards gifts either. What? Oh, girl, he saw you coming. So I end up picking, paying for, wrapping, posting gifts for his parents and his siblings. When we first started dating, he would at least sign the cards, but now he doesn't even bother to do that. I feel bad for them not to get anything, and they always send stuff on our birthdays. We don't live close by. Things like Mother's Day end up costing me a fortune as I have both of our moms and both of our grandmas, and he never puts any money towards it. I wondered would he not send anything if he were single. He is single. What part of that do you not get? Dating is not married. Okay? Two single people date. Married people are husband and wife. You ain't married. He's single as you are. So why you doing all this extra shit? It's just unbelievable to me. Last paragraph. Is this just my boyfriend thing or the guy just not like gift buying? Just to add that he has a good relationship with them otherwise. How can I get through to him that I'd like him to make more effort? Would you say to him, look here, you little bitch ass motherfucker, I'm not going to pay for shit for your family ever again. So if you want him to have a card, you want to have a gift, you want him to have a post-it, you going to buy it, you going to wrap it, and you going to give it to him. I'm not doing shit I'm only going to do for my family because why? We're single. I made the fatal mistake of treating you like you were a husband, which even if I'm married in the future, I'm still not going to do that. And my husband is going to buy shit for his family, and I'm going to buy stuff for my family. That's how we always did it. Yeah, they've been dating 10 plus years, she says. So I wasn't buying it. I barely got him something. I mean, I would, but I would at least trust I was looking for sales and all kind of stuff. I'm not gonna just splurge and just be wasteful with some money. But yeah, his aunties, it's just they had like a zillion folks in that family. It's too many of them. And you don't want to give everybody Mother's Day card. And I said, I'm not doing that. But he had this tradition before I ever met him, but which was very kind because he was just a nice kind of dude. He would make a Mother's Day brunch. So all the mothers that he knew, he would invite them over and then he would cook. And so it was like kind of going to a restaurant, but not as expensive. And sometimes, some of his frat brothers and stuff, other male relatives would chip in. And then all the moms would have go over there and have Mother's Day brunch over there. And so he had been doing that, way before I was met him. So who was I to complain? I sit my happy as we hadn't even had the baby yet. And I'm sitting down I'm eating with it. Well, I'm eating too. Because why not? It's my house. So it's like, for her to do, yeah, I'm not. I didn't buy them nothing. So then they'd be like, "Oh, what you going to get us for Christmas?" I said, "Nothing. Your nephew, your cousin, your son is going to get you something. That's not me. I have my own mother to worry about." So they'd be like, "Oh," so once they got established, like from the year one, then they never asked me that again. But the typical assumption is that the woman is going to step into this role and do all this emotional labor and do all this stuff for everybody just because she married some raggedy ass man. I'm not doing that. I don't have not one drop of blood from y'all in me. So anything that go into you to celebrating holidays, your birthdays, all this other stuff, he gonna do it. I'm not doing it. I got my own relatives. So yeah, so that's the mistake you're making, honey. You should have never stepped into this. But I mean, it's not too late. I mean, you can put this burden down, as they say, lay this burden down. You can do that. Question 3. This is female, 22 to 27, from Allentown, Pennsylvania. The male that she's writing about is 18 to 21. Summary of issue. I found out that I have a younger half sibling. Oh, all of a sudden I'm hearing that Temptation song. Papa was a Rolling Stone. At the ripe old age of 22, I just found out that my dad has another kid, a 20-year-old son. My parents were separated for a short period while he was going through a hard time. He was on hard drugs and not over his cousin/best friend passing away, but they were still married. He ended up getting another woman pregnant, but the woman didn't tell him until 10 years later. My mom knew about the affair and had forgiven him. Neither knew about the kid while they went through therapy. All these years they have been great and gave us an amazing life. The woman that he had the affair with reached out to him about 12 years ago, saying that he is possibly the father, but ghosted him after my dad asked for a DNA test. Now, just a week ago, my grandmother saw that she had hit from a DNA ancestry that there's this person who is her grandson. Suddenly, my grandma told my dad, and he told us. He said it was the biggest mistake of his life, and he hates himself for it. He doesn't want anything to do with the kid. I don't think, I don't think, no. I don't know what you're trying to say there. If the kid knows yet, but he's been active on the DNA website. My sisters and I are extremely curious about him, but would hurt my mom if we had a relationship with him. She doesn't think we should speak to him, and this makes her really emotional that we even want to. Also, my dad would probably spiral if we did that. What do you think about if I or my siblings reached out? He seems like a good kid and was an honor roll because we looked him up. It honestly makes me sad that I can't really get to know him. But then again, I went my whole life without knowing him, and who knows what he would want. I can't stop wondering about it and think we are similar people. I would suggest, um, because in spite of the fact that your parents' egos and is bringing up a bad situation that they went through and stuff, that's their problem. That's adult shit. That don't have nothing to do with you. Because when all that happened, you was a kid, and you're still, it still doesn't have anything to do with you. So what I would do if I were you, I would reach out to the little boy. I think can you contact people through them DNA websites so it's kind of anonymous or something? I mean, I'm not sure, but it seems like they would offer that kind of service because sometimes the people might not want to know. They might not want to meet you, but they might care that there is a relative out there, but then they might not care about that either. But I think you check with them first and see if there's a way that you can reach out to this kid anonymously, and say, we believe that you are a half sibling, and but before we intrude on your life, we want to take, this moment to ask you if that's something you're interested in. No pressure. We might, my sister and I, there are two of us. We would love to meet you and form a relationship with you if that's something that you're interested in. If not, we're still happy that you're on this planet. I see that you were on the honor roll, and that means you're headed for great things. Congratulations. I wish you much continued success, that kind of stuff. And so that you leave him with, knowing that you're kind, you're wishing him best things, you're not trying to hurt him. You don't want to start no shit with him. It's not about dragging him through the mud or anything. You just want to get to know someone that you just found out is your brother. And I'm telling you, brothers are great. They're great to have. Well, some of them. Mine are great. But, we had our moments growing up, especially the oldest ones. They was kind of special. Me and my younger brother was like this. But I think is good, and it's too bad you guys didn't get to grow up together. But do that first, okay? Because it might end there, and then there'd be no reason to involve your parents. You see what I mean? Do this step by step. So, okay, then he comes back if he's interested. You and your sister go and meet him first. See what you're gonna do. Take pictures. Then you're gonna go back to your mom and daddy, and you and your sister, you're gonna say, look, we need to talk to you guys about something. This thing happened, whatever number of years ago, and we want to make sure that you understand, we both feel like that didn't have shit to do with us. That was y'all and y'all stuff. This boy, whether through hook, crook, or accident, is our brother. He's related to us, and we care about that. And we're going to have a relationship with him, whether you two like it or not. So both of you did something. I mean, mom, I guess, didn't do anything, but they split up and stuff. So I mean, if she had a part in that part, and then your daddy tipping out doing what his stupid ass did. But you can't undo it. Okay, so either the family's gonna get together and figure out how to deal with it, or they continue to hide their head in the sand and act like it didn't happen. But the kid is innocent, and you and your sister are innocent, and so you guys want to have a relationship with each other, and I think that's a good thing. And your kids you have will have an uncle, and he sound like he's sound like a decent kid. I mean, what's the problem? I mean, if he was like in and out of jail or something, in juvie or something, I would say, "Oh, don't you even think about it." But he sounds like he's just trying to do the right thing and just grow up and be a decent human being. What's the problem? Let's move on to question number 4. This is a male, 67 to 6. Oh, this must be 57 to 65. Typo. Lynn, Massachusetts. Summary of issue. As you approach retirement, would you date someone who isn't prepared, aka broke? I am 65 and about to retire. My former girlfriend asked me for advice. We are still friends, and she has done very, very well in her career. She's invested well, and she lives a nice life. Her new boyfriend proposed, but she said she really liked him, but he has nothing. No savings, no pension, no retirement plan, and she feels like it shows a lack of judgment, and so she finally told him no. I now find myself in the same situation. I'm divorced. I made a lot of money while I was married, but my ex was a negative influence and we ultimately split up. I'm grateful that we did. My girlfriend now, who is 52, lives very modestly, but her positive affective presence is off the charts. She simply lights up any room she enters. She's attractive, fit, fun, and funny, and incredibly easy to relax around her. My friends are encouraging me to wait for someone more financially similar to me, but I'm not so sure. Their argument is you did it correctly and now it's time to enjoy yourself. My response, though, is that she is my enjoyment. I'm not in that 1% rich category, but I am very financially secure. What are your thoughts, Deb? Is there anything that I'm missing here? Well, I mean, you would want to, where you, Massachusetts, okay, I don't know what kind of prenup situation they have out there, but you want to get, protect your investments and things that you can. I mean, if you have you don't mention it if you're having any children, but I know if you have any kids, grandkids, or whatever like that, you might want to consider putting all your existing, uh, your estate, your current, holdings in some kind of a trust for them before you get with this woman. And it's not like this woman is broke. You said she lives very modestly, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have anything like your former girlfriends did. So, I mean, if she's able to take care of herself and stuff, that means she can hold her own. You would just be like icing on the cake for her. You would bring something to her life that she doesn't have, which is money, a lot, more money, and then she brings something to your life which you don't have, which is all the fun and laughter and light that she brings to you. That stuff has value, and it's good that you see it. Your male friends don't really seem to see it. They looking at the dollar signs, but that the way that someone makes you feel like that, the joy they bring to you just looking at them and being around them. If you're not hurting for money, I mean, how much more would it cost for her to be in your life? I mean, she could buy her own clothes and stuff with whatever job and whatever she got going on. So I don't really see where this would be a real problem for you. And so, unless I said where you have, grandchildren, something you want to make sure you leave them your property, give them their inheritance, set that up first. Okay, then you can just go into this marriage with this woman and be fine about it. Okay, make sure she get a little insurance policy or whatever for herself. It's not a big deal, dude. You're already 65 years old. What the hell do you think you're gonna be doing with all that money? If you're lucky, you got a good 10 years left. You better jump on that and stop tripping. People be tripping. I could see if he was like 35 or 45, but you 65. Come on now. Question number 5. This is a male, 42 to 49, from Los Angeles. Summary of issue. How do younger women, late teens and mid 20s, I mean, feel about blue collar men? I have a blue collar career. Almost all the men in my family are blue collar workers. I don't care about how other people feel about it. I'm married and my career helps support my family, and I'm proud of the skills I have. My son, on the other hand, has recently received some ridicule about it. He is pursuing a blue collar career himself and said that he gets mocked for being blue collar. He says that women his age make assumptions about his personality because of the way he typically dresses and his career choice. I told him that some women might care, but a lot of women don't. And a lot of women, in fact, will find it appealing. He said that older women, 30 plus to him, find it appealing, but women his age want professional slash business guys. So what? I guess you don't say how old your son is, though. This is kind of, I still don't think that's true, but I'm also not in that demographic. So I was hoping to hear from some women who are and hear their perspectives and your thoughts on what my boy is experiencing. So I'm guessing since you specify women in their late teens and mid 20s, that your son is probably in his early to mid 20s, and you are wondering why he's getting, that kind of ridicule. I can tell you why. Because young women that age are stupid. They don't have the sense of a fingernail when it comes to knowing the value that a man who can work with his hands will bring. While your husband, who is so white collar, is getting laid off, the dude with the blue collar can find work on the side and y'all can still eat. Your husband, who knows how to work on cars, can always, in a crisis, can always put the word out and be fixing on somebody's car and making some money. Your husband, who's a plumber, electrician, or some kind of construction work, something, some kind of craftsman, building beautiful things, can always make money. They can always make money. Whereas people who depend on a fucking corporate job sometimes will not. And they will end up, if we have engineers here, software developers, in the 80s when the semiconductor industry crashed here in California. These men were so desperate for money. They didn't do all the white collar workers used to make a bank. But suddenly they was out there trying to get a paper, fighting the little teenagers for a paper route because there was no they didn't know how to do nothing else except that desk work. So your son should just ignore those women and tell them, well, yeah, when your husband loses his job or he doesn't know how to do something and you don't have the $55,000 to pay for it, I'm sure my wife will be very much more appreciative of my blue collar working skills than you are right now. So I don't, yeah, they do. Both say they make bread. They do. They make ridiculous amounts of money. And so my dad was a blue collar worker, but it wasn't like he didn't work for nobody. He worked for himself. But that man knew how to do everything. I mean, he had to get permits and stuff to, get somebody, a licensed contractor, to actually cover for the work that he did. So that person could say that they did. They check it, make sure it was okay. My dad could do electrician work. He could do plumbing work. He could do all kind of building and construction work, building things, furniture. I mean, he could just do everything, laying carpet. He taught me how to do sheetrock and tape sheetrock and stuff. It's a skill. I mean, I'm rusty now, but there used to be times when people offered me money to go and help them, to help them do that. And so, when you have somebody like that who can teach you that, plus he worked on cars too. I forgot that part too. So it's like, and there was nothing in our house that he could not fix. Anything that went wrong, he could fix it. And we never had to call any kind of repairman and that kind of stuff. He'd look at it, jiggle around with it, figure out what kind of parts it needed, go to the store, come back and fix it. So that's how I grew up, with somebody who knows their way around things and can make shit happen and fix things to keep the house running. You never have to worry about, well, we got to call somebody and they can't make it and all this kind of stuff. I never experienced that. And the man I got with is married, the same thing. He could fix pretty much anything too. So to me, that has more value than somebody who's going to sit behind a desk and depend on some third party for all of his money. His very future, his career, everything is in the hands of some other person, and depending upon the market and the availability of jobs in that field. So I mean, it's fine that y'all want that. Trust me, I'm not mad at you. But I'm telling you, women who think like that are stupid. You're very short-sighted, and you're being very like discriminatory and just ridiculous. Those guys, especially them guys, and then the blue collar guys, they come home at night. You know what I mean? They finish up and they come home. The guys they always worried about who's coming after them, the next deal. They have to travel a lot for work. They're not, even when they're with you, their mind is somewhere else because they're thinking about somebody who's trying to, get their position or compete with their company and, take their customers. I mean, there's always a lot of anxiety and a endless amount of hours if he's going to be good at that. And they always want to, they have to try to get up the ladder so they can make the money and have more power and influence. It's a lot of work. And it's a special kind of woman who can really be there and deal with a man whose mind is in that mode. I personally wouldn't want to do it. I've seen too many, relationship fall apart because the guy was so focused on his career, fighting his way to the top. He just neglected his woman, his relationship, his kids, everything. All his other relationships took a second or third back seat to what was going on for his, at the company, for his career, his little white collar career. So y'all need to really rethink that. I'm telling you, missing out. That's really like hella stupid. Question number 5. This is a male, 42 to 49, from Los Angeles, California. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the one I just read. Number 6, male, 22 to 27, from the UK. Sorry, issue. I have a new girlfriend, but she has a dog that I hate. Well, time to get a new girlfriend. I've been dating my girlfriend for 3 months now. We are both 22. She's currently in university and has a part-time job and a dog. I knew of this dog, and I didn't think it would be a big deal. I don't typically mind dogs. This girl is kind, athletic, and intelligent. Her home is clean and she makes time for me, and her dog is insanely well trained. Probably the best trained dog I've seen in my entire life. It's a mid sized herding dog. It's her childhood dog, and he is 11. He's very clean, can walk off leash, and listens to everything. Just a chill little dude, but I don't know why I don't like him. She takes care of him herself, walks him multiple times a day, and he is so well behaved that she can bring him to some of her classes so he isn't alone at home. She even brings him to work, and everyone loves him in the office she works at. So I'm the only one who can't stand it because you jealous. I already see where this is going. When we go on dates, if it's outside, she asks if she can bring him. I say no most of the time, and she's fine with that. We can never do anything spontaneously because she has to take care of him. Whenever I ask her to sleep over, I don't want him in my house. She has to drop him off at her family's house, so we typically just stay at hers. He just bothers me. It bothers me that everything is dependent on him, but I don't know what to do. He doesn't do anything wrong, and neither does she. She always asks if he can come and is very understanding when I don't want him on our dates outside. I just don't want to let this woman go, but I know she'd choose him over me. I don't know what to do. You just hope that the dog dies soon. At 11, yeah, he's so jealous, it's just ridiculous. But I mean, the dog might die, but because it's already 11. I'm sorry, Mo, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth. I don't know what else to say about it, right? Hold on a second. I need to change something. Uh, 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 uh. Well, I don't know how to change it. I'm just, I'll take him off. That's what I'll do. Yes, he's jealous. He's very jealous of the little dog. And it's not like he said he's a chill little dude. So, you know, the dog, he just a hater. Let's move on. Question number 7. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Leeds, England. The male's 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I want my boyfriend to move out. Well, damn. Just not mince words here. She says, my boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. He is 28 and I'm 23. We've been arguing about the same issues since the beginning: communication problems, love languages, and intimacy slash romance. We currently live together at my family's house and we work well as partners, taking on chores and responsibilities. From our background, we have broken up 3 times and gotten back together each time within a couple of days. I initiated each breakup as I would get to a point where I felt I had no other choice. Hmm. We have both grown a lot because of these really honest and tough conversations that we have after a breakup or bubble up in emotions. Throughout our relationship, I felt that I have always initiated things. I feel that he is just going along for the ride while I conduct the train and navigate everything. We have both hurt each other a lot and both love each other so much. We have been distant lately since our last argument and can't seem to really connect. This plus school has made this all a confusing time, and I feel the need to give up on trying to fix us. I want to have my own individuality again, my own room, and figure out my responsibilities and struggles without having to stress about the relationship. I want to focus on my life in a positive way again. So I mentioned this to my boyfriend today, and he feels that him moving out will cause the relationship to end. Well, of course it is. That's what you want, right? I understand his concern, and I'm scared of that too. But I also feel that if it does come to that, then it just does. Truthfully, half of me wants us to work out, and the other half feels like we are probably better apart. I feel so lost and have no one to ask for help and advice. So I'm writing to you. Please help me. I'm going to say this. I'm going to tell you what my daddy told me when I started having I was all of 18 and having this fucked up relationship with this fucked up boy. And I went to my dad. I was talking about it. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to decide if I should break up. And I'll never forget it because my father knew, don't ever try to tell me nothing. Don't try to order me, command me. That I don't do well with demands. So what he did was he said, well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Okay. Perfect segue. But I'm just going to say this. Once roses start smelling like shit, they don't never go back to smelling like roses. And then he picked up his pack of cigarettes and walked out the door. And I'm sitting there with the Pikachu face. And so then I thought about it. And I said, wow, so profound. And I picked up the phone and I called that little boy and said, let's break up. And then that was the end of that. I never saw him again. Didn't care. I was done to done. And so that's what I have to say to you. Y'all done broke up 3 times. I didn't even go through all of that. You broke up 3 times already, and all this argument and emotional bubbling up and all this crazy stuff y'all are going through. It's just too much drama. It's just drama, and that's draining your energy. That's energy and time that you should have been spending towards your degree. And instead, you sitting up here wasting it on some nonsensical relationship. Speaking of which, okay, side story. S- s- No, I'm not gonna do none of that. I got a side story for you. I was thinking about something today about women and relationships. And this is, of course, my own thought. This is not a scientific fact, but it's come from like several decades of observations, pretty much my whole life. Because even before I started dating, my aunts were around, my mom, I mean, you hear things as you're growing up. I feel that women get into a relationship for one reason, only one reason, because they need something from a man. Now, it doesn't have to be him per se, but they need something. They need something from a man. Now, you're going to say, well, the men don't want to give their money to that. Nah, it don't have to be money. It could be that she needs validation. I think that's more of it than anything else. So many women feel like they're not a woman if they don't have a man. Like having a man, saying a husband, my boyfriend, especially by the time it gets to my husband, with the Z's in there, husband, they feel like they have positively arrived at the pinnacle of success. They have made it. They are now in the category of woman. Okay. So I think that for the most part, that's the only reason that women get in relationships. Now, if that need gets met and she starts developing other needs, then she feels pretty good about, getting out of that relationship and moving on. But if that need or some other need she feels like can still be met by this man and this being in this relationship with him, she gonna want to stay there. Even if it's harmful to her in many ways, she's going to want to stay. Now, you all can tell me what you think about my theory. There's need women stay get with a man in a relationship because they need something. Women who don't need anything from a man are more picky. They can be single for years. They don't care because they're meeting their own needs. Or they're looking for the need that they have is something that not any man can fulfill, like for a place to stay, somebody to help them with their kids, or somebody to help them with their food, somebody to help them pay their bills, somebody with a car to help them to get around, somebody, I mean, those kind of needs. They need that kind of stuff to validate them as a female, to validate them as a wife, to validate them as desirable, to boost their self-esteem with flattery and the kind of words make them feel desired. All those are under the category of what I'm talking about needs that would inspire a woman to be in a relationship. If a woman does not have those needs, her ego is tight, her self-esteem is high. She is like on the top of the world, and she's a success only in her own eyes by what she accomplishes herself, does for herself, and gives to herself. Then she does not need a relationship, and she does not need a man, and therefore there's nothing that these guys really can offer her. The guy who's going to come along who would get her has to be like stellar, and I think a lot of men are envious of that because they like that other kind of woman, the needy one, because she's easy to manipulate. She's desperate pretty much. And they can pretty much get her and do anything with her, and she gonna stay there because she's got these needs that she perceives him to be filling. Right? What do you guys think? Tell me what you think about my theory here. I thought of this today. Don't ask me why I'm sitting in traffic on 580. And I just started thinking about why do women need relationships? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I started I started thinking about that. Oh, maybe I was inspired by that little girl whose video I saw today. And she was talking about, the dating thing. And I'm like, well, would you want to date these clowns? I mean, I had the twisty face, as my little cousin calls it. She's 5. Your cousin, you have your twisty face on, and she, called herself mocking me. But so many women, they're giving up on dating. And I'm like, well, why'd you try so hard though? You can see after the first time or two that not here but idiots. I mean, just chill on that. Do something with yourself. Get you a passport and go do some. At least look at some fools in a different country. Do something. You. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I'm getting validation from my squad. But yeah, yeah, there's just nothing there. Just the stuff that women put up with to be in these relationships. There had to be something that tied it together. And I think I figured it out. And I think that's what it is. There's needs. And if you don't have no needs that a man can fulfill, I mean, everybody likes a little nook every now and then, but that's not necessarily a need, that's a want. So I'm talking about needs. If these women feel like they can't survive without these men, they're going to die without these men. They just can't make it without these men. They're willing to sacrifice everything to stay in these relationships with these men because they have needs that this man is meeting. You get into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm not sure where being in a relationship for validation fits, but somewhere in there, I'm sure. I'll have to look it up when I get off the show. So let's move on. Enough of my side stories. Yeah, it's kind of scary out there. When you meet one who's decent, I find myself giving them the side eye, waiting for the shoe to drop. And sure enough, it, doesn't really take long. They say some sleazy, underhanded shit to try to test you, or they try to touch you or something. It's always something, some little slide in your window. That then when you call them on, they try to act like, you the one that misunderstood. It's bullshit. It's just stupid games. And so, then you realize, well, he ain't shit either. I thought you was at least halfway, you know, some shit, but you ain't shit either. So into the shit pile you go. So let's move on. Question number 8. Enough of my soapboxing. This young man, 22 to 27 from Santa Rosa. Summary issue. My girlfriend brought up marriage and things got weird. Oh, what we were just talking about. I've been dating a wonderful, caring girl who's 25 for 7 months as of last week. Though I am 27, it's both of our first real relationship, and so far things are great. Last night, after coming back from a trip with a college friend, I mentioned how he's looking to propose to his time girlfriend. They've been together for 6 years or so. But I can already see cracks in their relationship, and I don't see it lasting. My girlfriend then asked, well, do I ever see myself getting married one day? For some context, we both come from broken homes. Mine had been particularly bad where my mom stayed when she shouldn't have for 25 years. Where I grew up and the types of people I grew up with, I can literally only think of one marriage that seems like it worked out. My whole life, I've always felt I do not need a ring and a wedding to prove my love and commitment to someone. I should probably note, to be honest, that I have always had commitment issues. Kids from broken homes usually do. So my answer to her was, I don't know. Now things feel weird between us, and we both cried a little last night. Oh, fucking drama queens. I have to say, though, she retreated a bit a few minutes later, saying, well, it's way too soon, but it's something that I want in the future. After 7 months, okay. So we both said we are not breaking up, but I can tell she might not want to continue if that's not an option for me. Again, I didn't say flat out say no, but I just don't know right now. How should we go forward? Your ass don't want to marry her. Just be honest. See, one thing I hate is a coward. So you got comfortable with your first relationship. You used to getting some pussy now and having somebody to talk to and all that good old shit that comes with relationships. So you say, "Oh no, I'd be going back to being alone. Whatever shall I do?" So you trying to stall the decision by telling her you don't know when you know from the letter you wrote here, you know very well that's something you're not even interested in. By saying, "I've always felt I don't need a ring." What you saying? Let me not misquote you. My whole life, I've always felt I do not need a ring and a wedding to prove my love and commitment to someone. That is the answer to her question. When she says, do you see yourself getting married? You're supposed to say, uh, I always felt I do not need a ring and a wedding to prove my, that's what you're supposed to say to her. And so that she would know then that whatever fantasy she having about being married to you is not going to happen, at least not for the foreseeable future. You're already 27 years old. By the time you hit 40, you might change your mind. But, that's going to be a lot of growth and maturity during your 30s. You'll have more different relationships. You'll get to see what it's like to be in relationships with different types of women. And so you might, very well, it's very conceivable that around 40 or so, you might decide, well, maybe this isn't so bad and change your mind because you have the skills to sustain a relationship by then. Right now, this is your first relationship. He didn't bring it up. Well, he was just talking about his friend getting engaged. Yeah. But yeah, but see, that's how you know his first relationship. See, come on now, Mo. You know because he too brand new with it. No player type dude in this world is gonna bring up nothing about somebody else getting engaged and married. Not to you, because you might start getting ideals. You getting ideals, and then he gonna have to deal with your ideals, and then it might stop his gravy train. Yeah, don't bring that up. Except maybe to say, he took the approach, well, it's not gonna work, but he didn't take the approach like, yeah, marriage is some bullshit and I would never get married. Okay, like some players do. They gonna put it out there like on Front Street. So you already know what time it is. Cause the way that he went on a rant about how marriage is bullshit. And this and that, and all y'all women do is want to take our money. Yeah, they just do the most. And so if I'm spending any time with him, it's just time I'm wasting if I want to get married. If I don't want to get married, then we on the same page and then it's all good. But they usually will do it that way because they want you to know out the gate that they don't even think about me being married to nobody. So they tell you that. So he made that fatal mistake by talking about his friend in the engagement, thinking he was gossiping. But what he really did was open Pandora's box with his big ass mouth. So young dudes listening, don't you ever talk about your friends getting engaged or married. If you dating a girl and one of your buddies is getting engaged or married, you shut your pie hole. Don't talk about it. It's not your business anyway. You should be gossiping about your male friends to your girlfriend anyway. But, unless you got an invitation to the wedding and you want to bring her, which is another bonehead move, you're not supposed to do that either, then there's no reason for you to tell your girlfriend about anything what your boys is doing. That should be off limit. That should be the rule amongst all y'all. And ladies, you should be doing the same. You should not be in your with your girlfriends talking about your dude. Okay, you shouldn't be doing that. But your relationship should be off limits to strangers. You don't be talking about other people's stuff. Oh, did I skip a letter? Oh, okay. Yes, I sure did. Question number 9. She's 28 to 34 from Springfield, Missouri. The guy's 28 to 34 as well. Some of issue. My boyfriend has very weird gift preferences. My boyfriend of 2 years has been amazing in every way, but I feel like it's hopeless when it comes to me trying to be romantic and buying him gifts. When it comes to holidays and birthdays, he buys me very romantic things like flowers, fancy dinners out, and experiences like a spa day, and other things that I think are normal gifts. But when it comes to me buying him gifts, he has a strict thing where he just tells me ahead of time to buy this and that because he wants it. I get that's fine since he wants to make sure I'm getting something he likes, but the gifts are weird. For example, one time he suggested a gift of a drill kit because his current one was wearing out. Your dude must be a Taurus. Capricorn, they don't like to waste. The practicality is pretty telling. The last time, which was his birthday, he wanted to buy some vinyl flooring to replace a couple of broken planks, and we went together so I'd pick the right one. Yep, his birthday present from me was a case of vinyl flooring, which he seemed happy to install and then send me the pictures afterwards. How cute is that? What is the deal with this strange preference? I asked a couple of my guy friends and male coworkers, and they actually chuckled and said it's pretty legit. What do you think? I think you need to grow up because you got it in your head that a gift must be something that, see, that's the thing about you. That's how I said you need to grow up. When you give a gift, the gift is supposed to mean something to the person who's receiving it. Okay, it's not supposed to be what you like or what you want or what you would want to get. That's inappropriate. You know how I learned that? When I was 7, I wanted to give my grandmother a gift for Christmas night. Wait, and this is a true story, y'all. It's so funny. I have to give my grandmother credit. She was very gracious about it. But I wanted to give my grandmother a present. I wanted to give her something that I thought she would enjoy and that she could have fun with it. And it would be, something that we could do together. So you know what I got her? They used to have these things, these balls. You blow them up, and they had like this band at the top. So anyway, so the band would fit over your hand, so you could do like this with the ball, and it was like this big ball. That's what I got my grandmother for her Christmas present. And I wrapped it all up and stuff. My parents never said a word. I saw them chuckling, but they never tried to deter me. So I wrapped it, I give it to my grandmother. I'm just so excited because it's Christmas. And I got my grandmother this ball thing. And so she opens it and she was just looking at it, and then she said, "Oh, can you show me how it works?" So I grab it, and I'm excited, and I blow the thing, and I show her how you're gonna do this, and then you could just toss it, and we could play back and forth. This is in my little 7-year-old mind. This is what we're gonna do with her present, and how I'm gonna have fun with my grandmother with this gift. So anyway, that is when I learned. I know it was it was hilarious. My daddy just was never gonna let me live that down about that. But anyway, at 7 is when I learned that you don't give a gift that you like or that you think the person would like. You give them a gift that they want. Then it will be meaningful to them and they will love it. You pick something that will be, just in line with their hobbies, their interests, and whatever it is. Like I have a friend and she gave me this, she met this guy who makes cutting boards, right? Beautiful, handmade cutting boards. And so she got him to make me one. Best present ever. Who cooks the most in the world? Who always chopping up some shit? Who has a knife set and don't want to be messing it up with no, cheap old plastic messed up cutting board? So she got me this beautiful hand, and it's made with two woods, acacia and something else. But anyway, the thing is gorgeous. And so, I mean, it's like my best present ever. That's how you give somebody a present that's going to mean something to them. Does she cook? That girl, if she turned on the eyes in her stove this year, is probably a miracle. She does not cook at all, but she knows I do. So she got me something that she knows I would like. See, that's how you do. That's what you do. And so you trying to figure out why he's not fitting into your round hole of what's appropriate gifts. I want you to shut up and continue doing what you're doing and get that man what he wants and stop thinking about switching up. Stupid. Question number 10. This cup is some of the nastiest wine I've ever had in my life. I'm like, ugh, where did I find this? Question number 10. Female 22 to 27 from Seattle. Number of issues. Dating a coworker. Yay or nay? Nay. All day, every day is nay. So I've been recently getting close with a coworker. We're in different teams, but we work together. We have been texting each other during work. When we are working from home, either we text or we get calls to talk about work and random stuff, which sometimes continues even after the usual working hours. It's been a couple of times now that we stay after work, just us two, and talk about random things and kind of getting to know each other. Our texts are kind of flirty at times, and we subtly touch each other's arms, knees, or shoulders. You know what I mean? I like him. I think he likes me too. I don't know. I want your perspective on this. I don't know if I should wait for him to make a move or if I should confess. I'm hesitant to confess because I don't want to mess up what we have right now. Please give me some advice. You are 22 to 27 and too damn old to be involved in a situation like this at your goddamn job. Are you fucking kidding me? You need to stop this right now. You stand after hours with this dude, it's just the two of you. Don't you feel like, I mean, some shit might go down and then you both end up getting fired? You're thinking about confessing to this man. You're going to keep your mouth shut and you're not going to take this any further than what it is. You're going to stop this. You're just starting out in your career, okay? Probably just fresh out of college. And you are already trying to put yourself in a position where you're going to be messed up, get a reputation throughout your little career industry of being, stupid at work and have no boundaries and fucking around on the job. That is not what you do, especially as a young woman. It's already hard enough if you're real smart and you're trying to, do big things in the company for them to take you serious anyway because you're young and you're a girl. And I know, it shouldn't be like that. Yeah, but it is. Okay, as it is. So you have to be extra on point. Just like and as a black woman, we got to be extra, extra, extra on point because we got to fight against not only the sexism and the youth, the ageism. We also have to fight the racism. So, we got to come in and be extra on point, especially when you're dealing with white boys that don't know how to act in the job. They used to be flirting with the white girls and doing all kind of crazy shit, boxing them in corners and touching them and saying inappropriate things. And then here come the black girl, they want to try that same shit. Oh, hell to the no. Not happening. You better fix your face and fix your mouth. Don't you ever talk to me like that again. You done lost your goddamn mind. I've had to say that to a couple of different people. One dude, like I told you, I punched that motherfucker in the nose. So, I mean, it's like, you can't do this kind of thing on your job. I do not know why they don't tell these girls this in college before they graduate. You're going to go out into the workforce, conduct yourself like a machine. You're there to get your paycheck. You're there to build up your resume, and you're there to get some excellent references and excellent letters of recommendation. You are not there to get your fucking swerve on. You do that shit outside of business hours. Look at them up there texting and shit during work. Yeah, they about to get fired. They both of them about to get fired. But I just want to reiterate this because this spring is going to be rolling around, and people are going to start graduating from college and going into the workforce again. So it's going to be a whole new round of fools in the workforce, and these predator types just sitting there waiting for them to come in, acting all brand new, not knowing what's happening, and get themselves involved in this stupid shit like this. Stay away from dating on your job. I don't know how much more clear I need to make that. You don't like nobody who works with you. Okay, you don't like them. You date outside of your job. That is your number one rule that you should be following if you are serious about building up a career and building a reputation within that industry. No, I don't care if they met. They could met at work, but you don't date at the office. You come at you meet there, then somebody quit. And then one of you work there and one of you work somewhere else. I really don't care. I'm just telling you the shit, especially for women, it doesn't really work out because you met and then you talking about if they married. I don't give a fuck if they married or not. Like all marriages are good marriages. Half the motherfuckers was cheating on their first wife and that's how they or first husband and that's how they got together in the first place at the job with my work husband and my work wife and all that old stupid shit people be talking about. Stay away from that. Don't do it. There's too many other people in this world that you could date. You don't have to go over there and be fucking around with somebody where you get your money. Keep your money and your sex life separate. You will never go wrong that way. And there's plenty of other people that you could marry. You don't have to be somebody on your damn job. That's just stupid. So the answer to your question is nay, you ain't gonna do this. You're not gonna do it. Unless you do this, you better transfer out and go somewhere else. Question number 11. This is a male, 20 to 34 from Edmonton, Canada. Summary of issue. My girlfriend of 6 months, I'm sorry, often gets upset when my friends message me while we're together or when I leave her place to see them, even after we've already spent plenty of quality time together. I'm 24 and we've been together. She's 26 and we've been together for 6 months. And within that time, there have been multiple occasions where she's voiced her discontent with my friends messaging me while we are together. Additionally, she gets upset when I leave her house and have plans to see my friends, often after we have spent a weekend together and both agreed that I'd be heading home that day anyway. I want to clarify that I'm not constantly on my phone replying to messages when we're together or rushing to leave her place so I can go spend time with my friends. I typically try to respond to messages when I get a chance if we're not actively doing something, and I never make plans to see friends if I have prior commitments with her. This past weekend was our most recent disagreement about this. I went to hers on Friday with the original plan being I would leave on Sunday after breakfast. So we spent Friday evening and the whole day Saturday together when we went out and did different activities. Within that time, I responded to one message in the morning and didn't touch my phone the rest of the day. On Sunday, we ended up essentially spending time the whole day since we were just enjoying being in each other's company. We both had plans to go to the gym and do some general life activities separately, which we decided not to do so we could spend more time together. But around 2, I got a message from my friend asking if I wanted to grab some dinner, so I said, yep. And over the next few hours, we had some very intermittent, brief conversations over text about where to go and what time. Given that I was going to be heading back home at some point today anyway, I didn't see any issues. So I let her know about my plans when I was sure what I was going to be doing about an hour and a half before I would need to leave, which she acknowledged and it seemed like everything was okay. But after about 15 minutes, she started being off and got real quiet on me and was staring blankly into the void. He should be a writer. Oh, Tracy, with a new name. Good for you. So after some strained conversation with me asking questions and getting little to no response, I started to get frustrated. So I just asked her if she was upset at me for leaving, to which she just shook her head. As time got closer to when I needed to leave, I got up to pack my stuff, and it was around this time that she finally decided to open up and tell me that she might be a little upset about me going to see my friend. So I sat back down and we started talking. Mistake. That's when you're supposed to walk out the door. I'll summarize a bit here as this is already long, you right? But one of her main complaints, which she brought up before, is that I'm always seemingly leaving her place to go see a friend. I'll admit that this is probably true, but it's after we've already spent together a lot of time together and quality time at that, and I'm really struggling to see what the issue is. The people I choose to see or how I spend my time outside of when I'm with her is not really her business. I think independence and agency is important, and maintaining my social relationships is important to me. Very good, and make sure you keep that mentality. Another one of her complaints was that my friends message me all the time when we're together, and she's confused as to why they choose those moments to tell me about plans when they know I'm at hers, especially since the ones who message me more frequently are my flatmates who I already see every day. They can just wait till they see me to tell me about plans. I've been trying to view things from her perspective and trying to understand why she'd be upset about this, but I'm really struggling to make it make sense and rationalize her reactions. The last thing I want to do is be dismissive of how she's feeling, and maybe I'm missing something here. But all of this feels very irrational and childish. What am I missing here, Deb? Is her reaction warranted based on how I've been acting, I think he means. And do you think there is a way forward from here? No. The way forward is to trash this relationship. And this is what you're going to do. So you letting her get away with too much stuff. She's not supposed to have no feelings about nothing. Shay! Shay, I started at 3:10 today. I decided I have to do this early because if I waited till like now, I could already feel myself getting sleepy. I haven't recovered from Thanksgiving yet. I'm still exhausted. What you're gonna do, my brother, is you're gonna sit this woman who's 2 years older than you that should be acting the stupid down and say, okay, you got two choices here. You are going to enjoy the time that we have together. And when it's time for me to leave and go be with other people that I want to enjoy time together with, you're going to shut up. If that's not going to be a problem for you and you think that you're going to control everything I do, when I do it, and the people that I do it with, who calls me on my phone, who text me, and when they do it, and all that, you think you're going to control my whole life, then I'm going to tell you right now, that's just not going to happen. And so, we got a good 6 months in. There could be 6 months and one more day. You do this shit again and watch what happens. That's what you're supposed to do. Put her ass on notice. You don't mean let nobody run you like this to the way you got to write a 900-word article to me about the problem. It's not a problem. The problem is you don't have no nuts. So you just let some bitch control you like this. I mean, I'm a woman, and if a man tried to stunt like this with me, I'd be like, look here, motherfucker. You don't tell me nothing. My friends, my family, my neighbors, my coworkers, anybody on this world who wants to talk to me or text me, I don't give a fuck if I'm with you or not. They can do it because guess what? This is my phone and it's my life, and they're important people to me. They don't have to be important to you. So oh, that's perfect. That's just how you gonna have to do things. You are letting her have way too much control. Like you trying to walk out the door, you gonna sit back down, have a conversation with her. You supposed to tell her, well, I see you got a problem, but I got stuff to do. I'll holler at you later. We'll talk about this later when I have some time. I don't have time right now. That's what you're supposed to do. So I mean, you're not handling her well, sir. You not doing this right. Not doing this right. Oh yeah, this I wanted to show you guys the shirt. Let me see. Can this is the little logo on a shirt. I'm going to be having intermittent contests on the YouTube show page, and so people will be able to win. I think I got about 2 dozen of them. These T-shirts. It's long sleeves. It's black. It's designed for winter wear. Keeps you nice and snugly warm. And so there'll be opportunities for you to win one. Okay, I will be more on that later. So let's move on to question number 12. We got 25 questions as usual. If you, by the way, if you want to submit your a question so you can have your question on this show, that's how you do it right there. You just going to click. It's a free. Nobody pay for this. This is all free. So you go to that URL on debsterism.com. It's debsterism.com. Get it hyphen advice, and then fill out the form, send it in, and keep your fingers crossed that your question is chosen. No guarantees, and no guarantee you definitely won't be in the next week unless you're really lucky. But at some point you might see your question. There it is, debsterism.com. Get it hyphen advice. Okay, let's get back over here. Yeah, they're nice. It's warm. I just been wearing. I took two out for myself. So I've been wearing them around like I go out and stuff, and people like I can see people looking at it. But I don't know if they're gonna. I didn't want anything with it all big on the back and stuff. I just wanted it to, be a nice little dainty design. So let's move on. Question number 12. Female 22 to 27 from Sandy Springs, Georgia. Summary of issue. Creepy mutual friend is sending me snaps. What do I do? For context, he is 30 and a friend of my friends. So he's a friend of friends. Okay, so he's not your friend. However, he is kind of strange and sort of creepy around women, in my opinion. We have some common interests, but I can't really get over some of the things I know about him. I'm 23, by the way. I don't necessarily have anything against him personally, but I don't want a super close relationship with him either. My friends have also hinted that he might be interested in me in more than a friendly way. He added me yesterday on Snap and I accepted it to be nice, but also just in case he wants to contact me since we have mutual friends. But you already said he was creepy and weird, so what did you do that for? That was stupid. But I'm kind of regretting it now, though. He's been sending me snaps, and I don't really want to engage that much. It's giving me anxiety, which is I don't know what is it. Is it friends? What is it on Snapchat? Whatever it is, undo it. I don't want to be rude since we have mutual friends, and I'm probably gonna meet him again sometime in the future. But I also don't want to be too nice in case he takes it the wrong way. What do I do? You just like I said, you go into Snap and you unfriend, whatever it is, their terminology on that. I don't use that platform. I've never used it, and I have no clue what I'm saying. But basically, what it is whatever way that you accepted it, you unaccept it so that he can't snap at you anymore, and then you just move on with your life. And as far as why you took it, if you're saying being nice, there's a video on this channel about women being nice and how being nice will get your ass used, it will get your ass beaten, it will get your ass gamed on, and in some cases, it gets your ass killed. So, what I want you to do is get that word nice out of your mind. Don't you be nice to people, especially when you already know that they're creepy and weird. You do not be nice to them. When he's talking about he's interested in you and all this kind of stuff, you're supposed to say to your friends, make sure you let him know that that is not happening. I have no interest in a man, A, who's 7 years older than me in the first place, and B, who I perceive to be weird as fuck. I'm not trying to be friends with him. I'm definitely not trying to date him. Okay, so you already knew that this was a stupid ass man, a stupid decision and situation to be in, and yet when he reached out to you to establish one-on-one contact with you and one-on-one communication, your dumb bunny ass accepted his invitation so that he could intervene into your world. You did that to yourself by being stupid and talking about desnapifying. Cause I don't know what it is, whatever it is, unsnap him. But I just this is just stupid. I'm going through this because I want the young ladies who listen to this video now and in the future. You know that you don't want to be bothered with some dude. And he's a friend. He's not your friend. You don't have nothing to do with him, ain't working with him, don't go to school with him, don't live next to him, nothing. You never have to see. He's not a neighbor. It's somebody who's a friend of some other person that you know. This guy, they done told you that he's interested in you, and you know that you're not interested in him back. Why in the world would you accept a private communication from this man? She's supposed to delete that shit like she never got it and then block him. All women? Well, I just, well, maybe, I don't know. I just know I see that, for me, my position here is that the young women who seem to be so scared and always trying to be nice to people. I wish I just didn't get that gene. I did not get it. I don't understand it. Somebody trying to send me a snappy, I mean, not like I said, I don't even know what is the concept of it, but whatever the fuck it is, it's something they send you, right? So I can relate to Facebook. Okay, so it's like a message they send you. Then I'm assuming it's a picture because Snap pictures. Then you're not sending me nothing. I don't want to see nothing. You no, we're not talking. You're not sending me nothing. I don't care. I don't want to know nothing about you and what you're doing, where you're doing it at, what time you did it, or who you did it with. No, I don't care. I don't want anything to do with you. But you opened the door for him to be all up in your world, and now you're saying, "Oh, well, no, it's giving me anxiety." You just hella stupid for 22 to 27. Get your shit together, chick. Question number 13. This is a female 42 to 49 from Salem, North Carolina. The male 50 to 56. Summer issue. I got ghosted after setting a boundary. Well, that usually happens when narcissists don't get what they want from you. I'm just feeling a little frustrated right now with dating in general, but specifically with the way that some men think it's okay to talk to and treat women that they've never met and haven't even taken on a date yet. Well, that still don't give them no right to talk and treat you crazy, but we'll roll with your opinion. Do y'all intentionally shoot yourselves in the foot? I think so. I'm 42 and was texting with a man who was 51. I had hopes he was going to actually turn into something because we had a lot in common. Shared goals, a shared career, no desire for kids, etc. At in your 50s? Okay. And your ass is 41 and you talking about kids? No. But this weekend I found that I had to set a boundary around his constant need to talk about himself getting off. Oh, specifically to any pictures that I send him. Oh my God. Okay, that boundary was supposed to go up the first time he did it. What is going on here? Deb, I could send him the most random picture of myself, and he would always make some comment that he would be, quote, using it later. Okay, are you all hearing me? She said he always did this. That means he did this more than once, most likely more than 3 times for her to say always, because then it would have been he did it, or it would have been both times. But she say always, then I'm betting 3 or more times, right? Yeah, exactly. Shay put the answer in here. So, okay, wait. I let it at first. I let it slide because maybe it was a one-off, and he just didn't realize how cringy it was, or he was trying to be funny. I'm not sure. I don't give a fuck. This weekend, however, I finally hit my limit and told him that it wasn't cool. It wasn't something that I enjoyed knowing he was doing it, despite being excited to eventually explore Nook and all of those things with him. Why would you even tell him that? Okay, you doing this all wrong. I made it very clear that I am not a prude and do not want to sleep with him and explore when we get to that point at but that constantly hearing about him jaying it was exhausting and not accomplishing whatever it was he thought it was. He apologized, and I thought we moved on from there, but I noticed that communication slowly started to trickle off, and now it's dead and gone. You should be glad. Why is it such a big deal when a woman asserts a boundary and holds a man accountable and asks to be treated with respect? I wasn't rude about it and moved on and started talking about future plans only to be ghosted because you, okay, just like Shay, I mean, I was going to say this at the end, but Shay jumped in there and put it in the chat. In this on the surviving dating blog, there's an article called the Hoe Test. I think I did a video about it here too. And what is a hoe test? It is the way men test a woman's ethics and morals by doing things that they know a woman who has pride in herself and self-respect is not going to let fly. She's going to check his ass, cuss his ass out, you know, throw him out. I mean, there's going to be a really swift and hard and decisive action following his negative behavior. He's going to be punished for that behavior. Now, what happened with you? You let him get away with this shit. You didn't say nothing. Well, I thought it was a one-off. I didn't say nothing. I was just, when you do that and you don't say anything, what does that communicate to the man who's doing it? That you're okay with it. Either it's that you're okay with it or you're too stupid to know what's going on. This is one of the both. One of them could be both, but either way, it's not a good look for you. So you thinking you doing that because you trying to build a relationship and you're not gonna nitpick and you just want everything to, just build naturally and all this old stuff here. In reality, what you did was, he gave you the whole test, and so he thinking that you feeling that you hoe. So when you try to rear up and correct things all late in the game, so he's like, well, she done pulled the wool off him on she did the bait and switch. So now he's not sure where you coming from, so he dipped out. That's what happened. So I'm going to suggest to you, Miss 42, you way too old to be doing this kind of shit. These are shit little 20-year-old girls do because they don't know no better. But here you are, got 22 years on somebody in that age, fresh out in college and stuff. And okay, you send him a picture and then he says he's going to be using it later. That shit should have happened exactly uno times. When he said that, you were supposed to say, what did you just say to me? And then he's either gonna be stupid and repeat it, or he's gonna see, oh shit, she ain't about this life. And then he would say, oh, I was just, talking shit, I ignore me. And then he would go on and act like he had some goddamn sense. But see, for me, even if he did well try to act, try to clean it up and stuff, I would be done. Because first, for you to come and you just met me. You don't know nothing about me. You're supposed to be on your best behavior right now. Instead, you throwing this kind of nasty, salty shit at me, and you think that I'm gonna be okay with it Do you think this is gonna pass and this is gonna fly? And then I'm gonna want to be in a relationship? I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna give you my resources. I'm gonna give you my time. I'm my body. No, motherfucker, because you don't even know how to act. You don't know how to talk to nobody. You don't have no respect. When a man shows you that he has no respect for you, that's where the relationship ends, ladies. Period. Absolutely. There's no second chance here. There's no conversation to be had. There's no way in this world that this she should have ever talked to his ass again. She should just go on her phone because I always like to clarify. I always like to because I want to see how you gonna handle it. So I always say that when they do that, I always say, "What did you just say?" Like I didn't hear it. No full well I heard it, but I always say, What did you just say?" To wait to hear what he's gonna say. How he gonna handle it? How is he gonna try to slide out of it, which is weasel ass. And so, but like then I said, I'm done because you had exactly one time to disrespect me. One. And any man coming at you like that, telling he gonna be using your picture later to jack off, and you continue to talk to him and interact with him and continue sending him pictures of yourself, knowing what he's doing with him, he told you. What? And then you want to get mad and write me, girl? Yep, check then block. That's exactly how it's supposed to be done. I'm just so I don't these women be dating way different than it even makes any sense. I just don't get it. You tell me some shit like that, and I'm gonna go to your house and beat your ass. That's what I'm gonna do. This is unbelievable. Question number 14. Woo! My God. Summary of he's a male 42 to 49 from Patterson, New Jersey. Summary of issue: social stigma of being perpetually single. Okay, he one of them big word people. You're flabbergasted, Mo. Oh, I'm sure some of your viewers have gone through this too. Bottom line, I pretty much have been single my entire 40 odd years on this planet, and everyone around me from a social point of view is dating or married, so I tend to stick out quite badly. Of late, the pressure to not do anything on my own is huge. There are some teasing remarks, and those familiar with me are aware that I'm perpetually staring over the edge and wanting to exit this planet, in part because I feel so useless, and in part because I feel so lonely. Oh, I hide this fairly well to the extent very few people know it, but these remarks it just magnifies those feelings further. It's also difficult to respond to them. Any ideas are welcome. According to someone I know, the answer for me is to go to yoga and gym where I will meet lots of ladies who will be interested in me. I've been around long enough to know this might work for him and his good looks and successful life, but it absolutely will not work for shy and introverted me. How do you deal with being perpetually single? I know people who hire pay dates, but the idea I find revolting in the extreme, and the idea of actually going back to dating sites just pushes me ever closer to the I see no point of even being here anymore. But equally, this constant, you should bring someone, why don't you ever have a date, also pushes me towards that. Any advice for me? Well, are you sure you're straight? And I'm not being crude or crass. I mean, I'm seriously asking, is this something that you considered? Maybe that's not really where your interest lies, and that's why for 40 years you haven't had a girlfriend. Sometimes women can pick up on these things, and so they avoid guys who are, kind of struggling with which side of the fence they're gonna be on. You might want to think about that. Yes, Shay, I was so disappointed when I found out that Amazon didn't deliver. I thought, "Oh, okay, well, I wonder if UPS does. How about FedEx? It has to be some USPS. Somebody got to be delivering me to my house because I really don't want to go out anymore. I just don't want to go out. But this is something to think about. You give that some thought, and I'm not judging. I'm just saying, it's a reality of some people's situation. So consider that if you really do want to be with a woman, then the only way to make that happen, dude, is to man up. You say you're shy and introverted. You know what shy is? Coward. When people say that they're shy, that means that you're a coward. You just haven't admitted it yet. You're afraid that somebody's gonna hurt your little feels and reject you. So you say, "Well, I'm shy." But no, what you really are is a coward. Just admit it. I'm just saying. Because, my thing is this, it's like, just going up to talk to somebody, what is the worst that could happen? They're not interested. Okay, now is that going to make you die? You talking about you want to offer yourself and all this other shit here just because somebody won't date you? Do you know how crazy you sound? Mm. Lord have mercy. You just sound like a wreck, just a train wreck. Dude, I don't know how to make you see how stupid you sound right now in this letter. You think that somebody gonna feel sorry for you and have pity on you and hold your hand and make sing kumbaya with you and all this stuff. I don't do that here. So I'm gonna tell you this: get your ass together, get your shit straight, and get yourself out of the house and start doing something with yourself. That's the only way you're gonna meet somebody. You have to be able to feel the fear and do it anyway. That is the sign of a man who has some strength and who is not a coward. You talk to women, not, you know what socially awkward is? Fancy shit that people made up in the 90s for people who are cowards. They don't want to say I'm social, that I'm a coward and I'm too scared to talk to somebody because my ass is terrified I might get rejected and I'll break into pieces because I'm fragile. I'm fragile and stupid. They don't want to say that because that's not a diagnosis. It's not socially acceptable. So they say I'm socially awkward. Motherfucker, your ass ain't nothing like that. You just a coward. You don't want to do shit with yourself. Some of them never approached women. The women came to them, but they still had to do something. And the main thing is when a man has a woman who approaches him and he gets with her, I mean, I'd say 98% of the time, because the 2% of the time he was interested in her anyway, but he was just too scared, so she alleviated pressure. The other time, the dude's not really interested in her. He goes along with her because she, made herself available. So it was better to be by himself. He at least get some pussy, somebody to talk to, all this stuff. But only 2% of them people, I would say, maybe 3. The interest was mutual, and she beat him to the punch, and so, things took off and got going and it were successful because of that. She took the initiative. He would have got himself up to around to doing it, but it was just taking him too long. He had to like puff himself up. But, he was gonna get there anyway. The other ones, the girls chase after the dudes, and the dudes aren't really interested in them. They just stay, get involved with them just because it's something to do. Better than, like I said, better than doing nothing. As soon as somebody comes along who he wants, he dips out on that girl so quick, or he cheats. So that's why I never buy chasing after man. It doesn't work. It's bad enough when they chase you, they still get stupid. But when you chase them, they don't have nothing invested. They're just doing it because it's like an act. You express like to him, and so he goes along with it. They hug and kiss and do the nook and they take you places and stuff like that. But he's not in love with you. He don't love you. He don't care about you. Not really. So I don't know why women do that. I would never do that. So let's move on. Question 15 out of 25 questions. This young man's 22 to 27 from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm sorry, Louisville. Oh, I should have worn my reading glasses. Louisville, Texas. I wonder where the hell that is. Female, 22 to 27. Summer issue. My girlfriend uninvited me to holiday dinner after initially begging me to join. Wow. My, wow. My girlfriend uninvited me to Thanksgiving dinner after asking me to do everything I could to get those days off. I asked my boss to pull a string and she did. Now I felt left scratching my head, wondering if I'm overreacting. Her sister doesn't want me there, so my girlfriend had to break the news to me today. Girlfriend's sister's 30. She's a little older. She doesn't want me around because I made an uncomfortable comment sometime last year when I jokingly said, "Are you going to eat all that? Dang," when pointing at a huge taco. This was enough for her to feel some sort of way. This was never brought to my attention until months later, May of this year, when my girlfriend told me I wasn't allowed inside her apartment because her sister didn't want me inside. Dad, my girlfriend pays all the bills and the rent. My girlfriend also takes up most of the chores, and she's pretty much a caretaker for her sister. Drives her where she has to go, takes her out of town when necessary, etc. They live together in the apartment my girlfriend pays for and has always paid for. So in these last months, I've been holding my tongue. But I'm no longer holding my tongue, and now it's causing issues. I'm not allowed, but all of her sister's friends can go in and out as they please. Even though it's my girlfriend's apartment and my girlfriend pays for everything, she lets her sister have the upper hand in what's allowed there for some reason. And now, days before Thanksgiving, my girlfriend has cried and told me I can't drive the 5 hours I was gonna drive to spend it with her family because her sister doesn't want me there. Girlfriend knows I don't have family and knows I spend the holidays by myself. I feel extra sad because I feel like her sister will always have the upper hand in what goes and what doesn't. I feel resentful, angry, and sad. What should I do? You should call up one of the, well, I mean, it's too late now, but for the future, in a situation like this, you don't have to be by yourself on the holiday. You can volunteer at the places where they serve, the homeless people meals, and then you sit down after you guys do all that and have a meal with the people that volunteered or that work there. There's no reason for you to be by yourself. And they probably have some other kind of situations at churches or whatnot. I mean, I don't know if you follow any particular path in that direction, but there's always places where you can go as a single person. Well, guess she gonna be she was at her house with her family, and that's where they was gonna cook the dinner. So, but my thing is this, I mean, I would not have you calling her your girlfriend and she treats you like this, I'd say, "Fuck you, bitch, and fuck you and your raggedy ass, big, huge taco eating sister too. Big old whale-ish looking heifer." And just, at that point, you can just say whatever you want to say and talk about both of them. You just getting pimped, and your sister's a taco eating hoe. And there you go. So both of y'all live happily ever after. I'm out. Boop, and going about your business. I'm just like, I just, I know I'm a terrible person, but I mean, I can just see myself saying some shit like that because I don't care. Yeah, I wouldn't be dealing with no bitch like treating me like that. You out your mind, dude. That's so disrespectful. And you sitting up there instead of dressing the shit and cussing them bitches out, you sitting up there writing me a letter like a little bitch. I am not feeling you. You need to get yourself straight here. Question number 16. This is a female, 20 to 34 from Madison, Michigan. Oh, I wonder where that is. The girlfriend's mindless, but so is he. Yeah, I took time off of work for that shit. Summary of issue. It happened again. A guy who was looking for a woman with no kids had kids. Well, so yeah, this happened to me. The guy didn't mention his kids on his profile. He shouldn't. No one should ever mention their children on their profile. Not even the first date. He shouldn't do it then either. It wasn't until the second date that he said it. The kicker, he had a requirement in his profile that the woman herself didn't have kids. I don't have children, but I also don't want any, especially someone else's. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm not going to be a stepmom at 27. Oh boy, I'm just tired at this point. Any advice for me? Yes, get over it. It don't matter if he when he told you that he had kids, because the bottom line is you don't want no kids. So whether he told you on the first date, on the first phone call, or on the second or third date, it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. The fact is you know that he has kids and you don't want to you're not gonna see him again, right? So I mean, what did you expect? You only had 2 dates with the man. It wasn't like y'all was in a committed relationship. You tripping. I mean, he didn't owe you that. And I am a firm believer that parents put too much information about their kids on the internet. You should not be. I mean, you're on a dating profile. They're supposed to be interested in you. You showing up to your kids, and so the pedo types they just flipping through there looking for somebody with kids in the picture and seeing the kids. Oh, is this the type I like? And yo, dumbass, done put the kids on that front street. You advertising their target market. And so they just shop and they only gonna reach out to you because they want access to your kids. So they're gonna talk all kind of shit to you so they can get over to your house and see the kids in the flesh and develop some relationship with you so they can get access to your kids because by then you'll trust them. You big dummies. Stop doing that. Your kid take if you got pictures of your kids on your dating profile or your social media, take them pictures off and stuff. Unless them kids don't live with you and you don't have no kind of reference for where they are, then they could be on there maybe if their parents give you permission. But other than that, you shouldn't you dating and shit. You shouldn't have pictures of any kids on your social media, your dating profiles. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, the bottom line is, so she mad because he didn't tell the second date, but I'm like, he didn't have to tell you at all. So you lucky he did tell you. He fessed up, and now you don't want to see him again. So what's the problem? You had 2 nice dates. Let it go. Question 17. This is a male, 35 to 41 from Miami. So I have an issue. I let things get out of hand with a younger woman, and now I don't know what to do. You idiot. I'm probably going to get roasted by you in the squad, but I suppose I deserve it. I'm 35. I'm engaged. I've been with my fiance, who's 34, for about 10 years. Okay. We know he's not serious. We have two amazing sons. They're twins and 6 years old. In short, we have a good thing. I wouldn't trade it. But sometimes I think, where did I disappear? Somewhere down the line, I feel like I went from man and friend to partner to dad and employee, which is fine. I guess it's just life. Anyway, I started going to my gym years ago, a way to clear my head. A few months ago, a new girl started working out. She's gorgeous, 24, who remembers everyone's name. We started chatting a bit each time I came in. Small talk, harmless stuff, I thought. I like talking to her because we didn't just talk about kids or work, which is what most of my conversations with friends consist of these days. And trying to keep that going, I never mentioned my boys or my fiance. You did that shit on purpose. Big mistake. I know that in hindsight. It sent the wrong message. One day, a couple of weeks back, she handed me a note with her number on it and said I should text her. I did. Some days later, while I was waiting in traffic, I figured, why not? See, that was the opportunity to tell you, I don't think my fiance would see think this was appropriate. But see, you failed again. That's why I say you we full of shit. I already knew what you did it on purpose, and then want to try to cop a plea time like it was a mistake, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Say, let me get the grill ready. This clown right here. It turned into this regular thing where we message in the evenings about music and movies and other interests that we had in common. She sent me a playlist and I tell her she was corrupting my taste. That kind of joking around. I knew she's into me. She never outright said it, but the undertone's there in all of our interactions, and she's heavily hinted at it. Like I said, I'd never throw away my life with my fiance and my children, but I do admit I kept it going and perhaps went along with it, getting off to it. I'm not sure if it's an ego boosting or if it's some kind of loneliness. You just Yes, an ego boost. I knew I fucked up when last week when I came in, she asked if I wanted to get coffee with her after my workout. That's when it hit me. You lie, motherfucker. Who this? I basically been feeding her one big lie, letting her fall in love, at the very least, into some juvenile crush with me, and getting onto it like a selfish piece of shit, enjoying the attention as well as talking to her, knowing full well I have no intention of going through with it. I feel awful. I haven't gone in since she asked because I'm downright ashamed of myself, which of course has prompted me to worried text from her. I want to come clean, but I'm not sure if I should. Ghosting would be really cruel, but has been on my mind since it's just so easy. I guess I don't know what the least awful way to go about it is. Do I choose to save my own ass and ghost her, or do I give her some sort of closure and own up to the fact that I've been lying and in a way taking advantage of her? Same thing I've been thinking about when it comes to my fiance. Do I tell her this whole situation transpired and risk my relationship, or is this ignorance bliss? I don't want to blow away my life over a bunch of stupid messages, but I also hate sitting on it. And it's made me rethink the situation if I'm at home too. I love my fiance, that's the truth, but is what is wrong with me looking for attention and in a way I guess affection from someone else? I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Let's start from the back and work forward. If your girl did the same thing, how would your monkey ass feel? Would you think it was just so innocent then? Your woman is texting and giggling and talking about going out with and having all these long-winded conversations with some man who she knows is into her. Would you think it was very cute? See, you so full of shit. I just want to if there's a way to choke somebody through the computer, I would sure be mashing that button right now. Choke this motherfucker. Choke him. Secondly, you're not gonna involve your girlfriend in this because really nothing happened. You just went on a fantasy for your stupid ass ego. What you're gonna do though is what I think you should do is cancel this engagement because you are not husband material. You're not ready. You've been dealing with this girl for 10 years, but you're still not ready. You can be a father to the sons, but you're not ready to be nobody's husband because your mind is not right. You're thinking, trying to find excuses to justify the emotional cheating that you're doing on your fiance and your kids. You think I'm gonna be okay with that shit and I'm gonna give you a pass? No, motherfucker, you wrote the wrong person. Obviously, you knew this was gonna happen. That's why you begged that I not roast you, because you already knew that the roasting was gonna commence as soon as I finished reading this letter. Third thing is what you're gonna do is this little girl right here. You're gonna send her a text and say, "I uh, my fiance doesn't like me texting you, so I need to stop." That's all you're going to say. That's gonna do two things. It's gonna end the shit right here, right now, and it's gonna tell her why. Okay, you're not gonna offer no excuses and all this justification and all this other shit you want to do to boost your ego and stuff. I know you like me, and I took you too far. I shouldn't have done all that. Yeah, yeah. You're not gonna do none of that. You're gonna do just what I said. It's gonna be short and sweet, and that's all you're going to say. And you're gonna put it that way because you don't want her to be that kind who thinks she's gonna try to hunt up your, because she got access to your address through the member roster thing in the computer. So, but you don't want her to come to your house thinking she's gonna tell on you and stuff. So you have to put it the way I told you so that she knows that your fiance already knows. You see what I'm doing with this? This covers all the bases. Do it exactly the way I told you, and you won't have no more problems. Oh, he ain't the player I would. He can't match my player games, I'll tell you that. But dude, you was stupid. This is the same thing as fucking around with somebody on your job. Okay, you're stupid. Even if you wanted to have a flirtation like this, it would have been should have been with somebody that you don't work with, don't know at the gym, don't live in your neighborhood, and stuff like that. Some rando is what you were supposed to do. But instead, you're gonna have fuck up your gym time. What a dork. People can't think they way out of a bag with both ends open and be trying to run some game on somebody. Question number 18. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Little Rock, Arkansas. Some issue. I've started online dating as a fat girl, and the men I've met up with have had hygiene issues. Okay. Backstory. I'm 5'9", 260 at age 29. I have a great job and own my own place. I have a pretty face and I take really good care of myself. I'm always making sure I smell good and look good. I've dated in the past an average height and weight and have never had this issue. That was 5 years ago, though. I want to start dating again as it's been a while. I've downloaded, a swipey thing. The men I've been matching with are typically younger in the 26 to 28 range. Appearance and personality wise, they're great. Smart, funny, kind, and a nice smiling face. Some have been bigger guys around my weight or larger, and some have been average. A total of the 5 guys I've gone on dates with have all had some hygiene issues. One guy knew he smelled, but always had an excuse why. What you mean always? You been out with him more than once? And he was a stink pot? Another guy made his own soap, and he had nice, thick, shoulder-length hair, but it smelled bad and was greasy. So he made the soap, but he never used the soap? Is that what you're telling me? Another guy showed up to the date smelling good, but after we actually started dating, I got to see what his habits really were. His house was a disgusting mess with moldy dishes, and he would rewear clothes after working and sweating in them all day. There was a few times I helped him get his house in order, but it would get back to nastiness shortly thereafter. Is this a rare thing I'm experiencing, or have other women complained about this as well? Well, yeah, I've gotten some hygiene issue letters. I think part of it may be due to my size, but I'm curious if other women have also written in to you about experiencing it. Yes, they have, right, you guys? I'm just, it's like, I can't do funky. I'm sorry. We all have our bottom lines. I can't do armpits, toe jam, breath things, eye boogers, nose boogers, or, like shit, like dirty hair. I can't do those things. I cannot do those things. When you looking, they got like dark lines under their nails where the dirt's embedded under their finger. No. You need to go sit in some water and lay down in the tub and let that, because she feels like um she feels like because she's a big girl and she might not be as desirable, so she's not getting the men who, are at the top of the dating heap. That's why she said that. That's how she's relating it. But she said she always keeps herself clean, and she has a pretty face and takes really good care of herself, and she always makes sure she smells good and looks good. People who do go through all of that kind of attention, self-care and attention don't usually have dirty homes because their homes are neat and clean and smell good just like they do. So, Mr. Steven, I don't think that that's even an issue. Yeah, well, that's my I had a boyfriend in college, and we lived together. We had been talking about getting married, and yeah, I did not marry him because of his stinky feet, but I'm telling you, he was very athletic, like very athletic. Would play basketball every day so he could, and he had these basketball shoes he had paid like a grip for, and but so he had them for a minute, and they be sweating out there. So even if it wasn't his feet wasn't sweating, the sweat was dripping down. I guess was going in his socks. And so I'm not sure how. What I don't really know how it happened. I just know when he would take them shoes off, honey, the fumes. It was like that cartoon, Pepe Le Pew. The fumes was woof whiff off, and I would just feel like lightheaded, like I wasn't gonna make it. And so I used to make him sit them shoes outside on the balcony. And you know what? That things would repel even mosquitoes. Because in Texas, it's like out in the warm weather and the moisture and stuff, the mosquitoes was like birds. No mosquitoes ever came to our house when them shoes was outside. The mosquitoes was like, even the mosquitoes was like, oh fuck no, I'm out. But yeah, it was funny. No mosquito. We could go sit on the. I mean, you have to sit out there and deal with the funk. But if you just want to sit out there in the warm weather and not have to, be in the house where it was hot, or put on that freezing air conditioner and run up your bill. Just sit out there as long as you can stand them fumes. There was not a mosquito in sight. Nothing. No moths, no mosquitoes, no flies. Nothing would come around them shoes. That boy's feet was just unbelievable. But luckily he was a clean person. He took a shower like twice a day. He was always clean. But his shoes, I don't know what happened with them shoes. Woo! Question number 19. This is a male 20 to 34 from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Simon issue. Are women more attracted to men who can cook? Shit, is water wet? What you think? This is just a random question that popped into my head. Whenever I cook, not to impress women, of course, I'm just cooking for myself. But do you think they do? Also, is basic cooking enough or does the guy need to be a pro? No, basic cooking is fine. Of course, we want to. Wait, he had funky feet and he wants you to massage his feet? He wants you to touch them critters? Oh, hell to the no. God, can you imagine? What if that funk got into your hands and you walked around and you touching things and stuff and you walking through the office and everybody's like, what is that smell? And it's like, oh, it's Honey Lamore's hands. Dude. Well, that's good, Steven. So when you get a family, at least you won't have to upgrade. You already got the space. Or you could rent this room out if it's a college near you or something. I don't know. People trying to downsize. A lot of single people don't mind living with a roommate. I have a roommate right now, my daughter. It's not my choice, but it is what it is. But does a woman love a man who can cook? Absolutely. Man, I be the first one at the table with my fork and my knife in my hand like this, waiting for that plate to be set in front of me. I love to cook, and I think I'm pretty good at it. But there's nothing like someone else showing their love for you cooking for you. That is like a that's it. That's all I need. If you cook for especially some shit that you know that I that I like, and you're gonna go to the store and you're gonna shop all the stuff and you're gonna take the time to cook that for me for no reason other than that I enjoy it and that I like it and you're doing it to show me that you care, that I get something in my stomach that I like and enjoy. I'm in love. Let's get married. I I want to be like this every day. The weight of my heart is definitely through my stomach. I'm sorry. I'm just a little piggy. But yeah, I mean, that's like I don't have to cook. My husband used to cook. Oh, he could cook his ass off. I was like, yes, I think I can do this. But certain things I did better than him, and then certain things he did better than me. So between the two of us, we had the kitchen was burning. People come to our house, and they would be like, "Oh my God, this is great. When can I come back? You want to be Mr. Big Shot?" I see. Well, that power bill must be kicking your booty. It takes a lot to cool and heat them big ass houses, especially when the big open concept they may start making that big in the 2000s. Open concept, everybody's knocking out walls and stuff, and then all of a sudden they figure, oh wait a minute, now I don't have this one room I have to heat or cool. Now I got to cool and heat this whole damn house because I made open this open concept. I always thought that might be a problem, but who am I? Question number 20. Male, 20 to 34 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Summary of issue. When did going 50-50 on dates get such a bad rap? I'm a single but actively dating guy in my mid 30s, and I grew up at a time when it was very common for people to split bills for early dates. At the time, this seemed to reflect a more egalitarian and progressive outlook towards what makes a healthy relationship. No, it wasn't. It was just a bunch of cheap motherfucking men who didn't want to pay for dates. But in the last couple of years, the pendulum seems to have swung back in the opposite direction toward the old fashioned idea that the man should be the provider for the dates. Visit any social media platform where dating is discussed, and you'll see folks bemoaning 50-50 men and have the mere suggestion of splitting the bills as an instant ick moment. I don't love this development. Of course you don't, as someone who wants to build a more egalitarian kind of partnership. But I'm interested in knowing why and how this cultural shift happened. Is it the way in which social media proliferates reactionary thinking? Is it people retreating to the imagined comfort of tradition amid present day crises? Is it a reflection of the right wing comebacks we've seen lately? I'm open to any theories. No, what it is this. Exactly. They was jamming that down our throats. Men are the providers, men are the breadwinners, men are the decision makers, men are the leaders and all this stuff. I mean, they got jammed down our throats. That was the whole thing on social media. How women were too don't know how to be women anymore and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so you can't have it both ways. If you want a woman to be feminine and soft and giving and submissive and all the shit that you all cross and crying about, that means you on the opposite end of that spectrum, my brother. That means you is unasked all the money. You are going to be the man. You're going to pay all the bills. You're going to make all the dates. You're going to do all the driving. That's what that means. So if you don't want that kind of relationship with the woman, then you don't position it so to start telling her what she must be that's lesser than you. If you want a woman that's going to be paying half the bills and stuff, then see a lot of women still not going to go for that because women generally don't make as much as you. So her half is going to be a larger percentage of her income than your half would be. So, if you do it where it's like, a percentage of income contributed towards the thing, well, then that might be okay. That shows, fairness and what they call it, there's more equality there because it's based on one's ability to pay and your resources. But you just say, well, the rent is $2,000 and you're gonna pay 1,000, and she's only making like $30,000 a year, so she's paying 1,000, and your ass make $250,000 and you paying 1,000. Well, there's a big gap there. It's a huge gap there. So that 1,000 is impacting her bottom line way more than it is yours. So that is another thing that women had to start thinking about. Is this shit fair? Not to mention, if they build you guys for the shopping, the cooking, the cleaning, the child care, the pregnancy, the dropping your shit off, taking care of your dog, taking your dog to the vet, driving your mama to the doctor, picking up your kids from school and daycare, and cleaning up the house. And, okay, if a woman charged you for all of that shit, even at minimum wage, she'd be making bank. But y'all don't consider that kind of stuff, what they call emotional labor, to have any value. So you don't see where to compensate her for doing all of those things to make your house a home and your kids taken care of and your mama feel good when she comes over to visit. She gets pampered and she's served and all this other shit. She's doing all of that shit to show love for you. And your monkey ass still want to make her pay half the bills. You ain't doing half of that shit. So that's why, I try to run to explain that to dudes. If you paid her a fair wage for that shit that she does for you, the nannying, the babysitting, the daycare, the chauffeuring, you pay her for that and see how much money your ass is out. Yeah. See, Steven understand what time it is. It's like that stuff has value. I mean, that frees a man up to be creative and to go out and conquer the world and do his career shit and all the stuff that men like to do. You can't do both of those things, and you have no right to demand that she do them either. That's why so many women are depressed. They're like, they're all stressed out, hair falling out, skin all fucked up. They don't ever have any time for themselves, and then here comes some man going, "You don't take care of yourself like you used to." When is she supposed to have time to do that when she's doing all this other grunt work for your ass? So that's why I refuse to do it. I told her I'm not doing that. So once I had that baby, this is your baby, nigga. You the one that wanted it. You gonna do everything. When it cries in the middle of the night, you gonna get up and change the diapers. You're going to do everything because you wanted this damn baby. So here you go. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like I said, I refuse to buy gifts. I didn't know how to do shit when he wanted to do his entertaining. Well, there's the pots and the pans. I might make a salad if I feel like it. Wash a few dishes, put some shit in the dishwasher or something. But in general, that's your shit. You handle it. I'm just, women have to have strong sense of self, and you have to have a sense of self-preservation. There has to be boundaries to what you will allow a man to the shit that you will do. You can't run yourself out like raggedy like that. It's not going to help you. It's going to age you faster. You're going to be tired all the time. And that's why I think so many women are on Prozac and shit, because they have this rage inside where they're feeling put upon and drained and exhausted. And they see this man looking all fresh and happy because he ain't doing shit except going to work and coming home. Yeah. They ain't going to do that. Kiki, they ain't going to do that. That's why I say some women to me, knowing all the work that women do in relationships, a woman who would go and agree to pay 50% in a relationship is an idiot. She's a fool. She's just stupid. It's just gonna be playing herself. So here we are, question number 21 of 25 questions. Young man 18 to 21 from Sheffield, England. Simon issue. Am I an asshole for telling my mom's boyfriend that his son is not my responsibility? Yeah, my parents divorced when I was 16. I'm 20 now, and it was a mess. I live with my mom now and her boyfriend, quote, Mark, who's 43, and his son, quote, Liam, who's 11. I'm in my second year of college, which is its own special kind of stress with exams and projects. Yes, Lord, I remember them days. Woo! The dynamic is fine usually. Mark is kind of okay, but he has a habit of assuming that I'm a newly acquired babysitter. Liam is a good kid, but he wasn't raised properly, which is another thing. Plus, he's only 11, so he's energetic and loud and is very impersonal and doesn't understand the concept of personal space yet. The issue I'm writing to you about happened this past Saturday. I had a massive assignment due on Monday morning, and I was planning on spending the entire weekend at the library on campus. On Saturday morning, as I'm packing my bag, Mark comes to me to let me know that he and my mom are going away and I need to keep an eye on Liam. I was immediately stressed. So I told him I can't do it and that I have to go into uni to focus on my work. He waved me off and said it's fine and I should take him along with me to campus and keep him busy on the tablet. I immediately was like, fuck no, I'm not taking an 11-year-old kid to my university while I need to focus on my submission. I said no, trying to be firm, saying I cannot be responsible for him an entire day at my school. And I asked if he couldn't stay at a friend's or at his grandma's or mom's. Mark's face fell and he looked genuinely annoyed. He told me it's just one day and they're trying to organize stuff with other parents and family would be too much of a hassle and the least I could do was help out. I couldn't take it honestly, so I snapped. I've been under a lot of pressure for printing assignments and group work, and that was the last damn straw. I told him that Liam is his son, not mine, and he's not my responsibility. I didn't choose to have a kid when I wasn't ready, and my only obligation is to get my degree and move the fuck out. They both went silent for a bit, visibly upset. I love it. Good for you. That's exactly what he needed to hear. And after a while, Mark said it's fine that I shouldn't bother asking for them for favors in the future. My mom later that day texted me and said I was disrespectful and hurtful, which I did lose my temper slightly, but I feel like they had no right to try to force Liam onto me as a responsibility, so last minute especially. I thought I was right to stand on my boundaries, but maybe not. How would you have handled it, Deb? Exactly how you did. Exactly how you did. I am so proud of you. That's what you need to do because you got to set um thanks Stephen. You have to set boundaries and let the people know who try to, assume that you're going to step in and assume responsibility for their life and they can just dump shit on you that you ain't the one. And so you did that. You're taking good care of yourself. You established some good boundaries, which you might have to start doing though. I mean, is that your mom's house? Are you living in the house? I mean, what's the living situation? Who owns the house where you guys are staying? That could be an issue. If it's dude's house, but if it's not, like if it's some house that your dad left and it's going to ultimately be yours or something like that, but then you have more of a leg to stand on. But that's my only concern. The big question mark in my mind is if they decide that you shouldn't live there anymore since you're not going to help out, what are you going to do? Could you get space on campus? Are your grades good enough to get a scholarship? Grant of some kind. You might want to start thinking about that because I mean, boundaries are good, but sometimes they come with repercussions because some people don't like boundaries, and they're gonna find a way to try to fuck over you because you established them. So start, thinking about where else you could go and who else you could stay with while you finish school, because it might not be there. Okay, you think about it. Question number 22. This is a female in the 42 to 49 age group from Brighton, East Sussex in the UK. Some issue. Am I wrong to think there's no future with him when he keeps giving me UTIs? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Keeps giving them to you? So the backstory is after 20 years, I escaped from a brutal marriage 4 years ago. And after such much therapy, I started life again and I met someone. My intimate life with the ex left me a shell of myself. And I doubted whether I would ever be able to allow someone to touch me, even though I longed for kind human touch and even some kind of proper nook nook. 9 months ago, I met someone who seemed to think I was beautiful. Held my hand and stroked my hair, and very slowly we've been spending nights together. Lots of nice kissing. Then I got a nasty UTI, not the usual E. coli. In the summer, I have never had one before. Since then, I have been on endless antibiotics, and life has been turned upside down. At the same time, he began to get frustrated and annoyed, even somewhat angry at the lack of nook nook activity. I am under the care of a hospital now with months of antibiotics to come. What in the fucking world? Girl, do you know you could have kidney damage here and be looking at a transplant or dialysis or some shit if your kidneys keep getting infected like this. This is not good. In dark moments, wait, oh, to make matters even worse, I had a severe and rare frightening allergic reaction to one of the drugs, which landed me in the hospital. And I was very ill for over 2 weeks dealing with this. And again, lots of trips to the hospital. In dark moments, I think that I will never be able to have Nook Nook again, that I will get another UTI from him. My former husband also gave me an STD. Oh my God, girl, no. I've heard that getting terrible frequent UTIs is your body's way of rejecting a new man. I could not bear to get this again. It's actually really been frightening. Should I just forget this relationship? I'm so sad about the kissing and the lovely holding. Though. Yeah, but you could get that from somebody that doesn't have a diseased dick. That's what you could do, because this man is nasty. What kind of cooties is it that requires you to have months of antibiotics? I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. That's like some super funky. They just no. He could never touch me again. He couldn't touch me with the neighbor's arm. You stay away from me. Just stay away from me. Mm-mm. Nope. That's so gross. I want you need to see a shrink, girl, because there's something going on with you where you would be willing to trade your physical long-term health for a relationship with a man like this. This is not healthy for you. This is not healthy at all. This is terrible. This is upsetting to even see. Question 23. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Swindon in the UK. The male's also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend said other men wouldn't find me attractive. Well, of course he did. It's because your boyfriend is a jerk. Wow. I'm 27. I've been dating my 26-year-old boyfriend for 3 years. I will cut directly to the chase about a conversation we had, which ended up in me getting shocked. Excuse my English as it's not my native tongue. Him, I don't think someone would want to approach you, and that's a good thing to me. Me, why? As a reaction to his sentence. Him, you're not into the beautiful standards of these days. Being exposed, I mean, hereby exposed, he means wearing revealing clothes, which is basically not me. According to me, but according to you, being beautiful equals being exposed? Him, no, to men, in my eyes, you're beautiful. But just telling you, you won't look attractive in other guys' eyes, which is actually good. Me, and how do you know that I don't look beautiful in other men's eyes? Him, because I know men. Wow. And from here on, things went down basically as I reacted to him and told him that his sentences were in no way normal and that there's no justification for saying these things to your partner, that he is basically projecting his own perception of, quote, what men find beautiful and attractive to the general. He refused this, of course. Then he said things like, I feel like you want men to find you attractive. It's okay if they don't. And I was getting more and more shocked by these sentences from him because that's not the case at all. I am not someone who even cares about other men other than my boyfriend. I don't even have guys in my friend circle. And it's not even because of him, it's just my choice. In terms of beauty, I'm not a narcissistic person telling me how beautiful I am with my nose up in the air, but I also don't consider myself as, quote, not beautiful. I like what I see in the mirror when I look at myself. I'm at peace with myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. And since we are talking about other men being interested in me, there are men looking at me when I'm outside, and I'm at an age where I can differentiate between whether someone is just looking at me or looking at me with interest. I openly told him that his comments hurt my feelings and that there's no way he could justify them. He told me that he was actually complimenting me about me not being, quote, exposed. Then I told him that he wanted to compliment, he could just do it without bringing me down, and then he could just say, "I'm glad you're not exposing yourself." He apologized and told me that it was not his intention to hurt me. He then went on complimenting me about how beautiful and attractive I am, etc., but words have already been said. I felt hurt by his comments because in my eyes they were directly or indirectly implying that I cannot be considered a beautiful or attractive woman by other men. Yes, I felt hurt indeed, but I am an individual who is also very self-critical. No matter how right I might feel, I have a tendency to consider the other person's perspective too. Overall, I'm not sure how to process all this. Well, I'm going to say this. He tried to clean it up and, try to say what he meant was that, no, motherfucker, no, you didn't. What I would say to in a situation like that is uh, basically what he did was disrespect you. When you, I'm saying this like for the 900th time, when you have a man who feels okay with disrespecting the woman that he's supposed to love, and then somehow when you get upset about it, he try to flip it around to be something that you did wrong. You're misunderstanding. You shouldn't feel that way. That's not what he meant. You took it, you taking it all out of context, blah de blah bloop de bloop. Then you have to decide, do you want to be in a relationship with someone, loving someone, sleeping with someone, hugging someone, being devoted to someone who disrespects you openly and freely like that? Would I suggest that? Excuse me, you stay in a relationship with a man who treats you like that? Absolutely not. And some women might be like, well, it only happened one time. Yeah, well, the dam is broken now. So, by the time they feel comfortable enough with you, because, before they're going to hold back. So, when the time they start getting comfortable is when you start seeing the bullshit. In a situation like this, then all bets are off. He's comfortable now. So he's saying things that he knows are gonna hurt you. The stuff he said it in a way that was designed to hurt you, to minimize you and make you feel like you were less than. That's why I would break up with him. It wouldn't be the fact that just the fact that he said that what he said is the way he said it, and he kept repeating it. When you even asked him the question about it, he was doubling down, quadrupling down. So this was not an accident. This was intentional. So you think about that and you listen to what you wrote to me because we don't send a copy. So you listen because I read what you wrote word for word, and you tell me how that makes you feel. That your man, the one that you want to run around and tell everybody loves you, would talk to you like that and think that you're supposed to be okay with it. He's lucky I wouldn't be hitting him upside the head with a blunt object. Because I believe in violence. I'm not taking this. Just refuse. Question number 24. This is a female, 28 to 34 from London. Summary issue. Is it unfair for me to charge my boyfriend 800 pounds in rent? That's the L thing. That's pounds, right? I'm a 30-year-old woman who recently bought a two-bedroom, two-bathroom flat in Zone 2, which is pretty close to Zone 1 in London, where you would think 1 and 2 would be close to each other. I mean, duh. I bought solo, although I have no clue what that means. I bought solo as my partner who is 30, and I have not been together long enough to commit to this together, and I have been saving for this solo for a long time. Well, then good. That's what you should do because with all your money. We are due to move in soon, and we have been having discussions about what is fair and what costs we should be responsible for. He's mentioned that he wouldn't feel comfortable putting money towards a mortgage as he doesn't gain any equity, and I think that this was a fair call out. I've been doing research across different sites about what other partners have done and what feels equal. I suggest he cover all bills less than 650 pounds and my groceries, which should come to 750 to 800 a month. He believes this is too much as he was expected to pay less. My portion once would be covering 70% of the cost, so I don't see this as unfair. And given the size and location of the flat, I think this is a steal and allows him to save considering it's much cheaper for him than our current rental. I would also like to add that we've had a bit of a rough year in our relationship, so I don't know if that is clouding my thinking right now, which is why I've decided to write to you to see if I'm being reasonable or unfair. What you should do is cancel him moving in with you. Once he moves in with you, he's not going to pay your ass shit and you're going to be stuck. So tell him that you decided that you two should not live together and that you're going to get a female roommate. That's what you're going to do. You want somebody that's going to step up and pay half the, pay you the amount of money, which is going to be half or more of the actual mortgage, even though they're going to be, yeah, I don't know. Says she's stupid. These women, I just don't know what they be thinking. If I bought me a house, you think I'd let some nigga move up in my house with me? Psh, you didn't put nary a dime into this, you ain't moving in. Stay over there in that rental where you was, or go moving with your mama. You ain't coming up in my house. You can visit, and you can't stay more than one night a week. You're not going to establish no kind of residency up in here. I'm not stupid. They want to come and stay for months and months, be sending getting bills at your house and shit. See, the next thing you know, they establish residency, and then you gonna have a problem. You're gonna have to evict them to get them up out of there. And since you don't have a rental agreement or nothing, well, they're not gonna pay you no money because you don't have a rental agreement. There's nothing to bind them to pay you a dime. This is why women they're just stupid. I mean, they be falling into love, but I love him though. Don't let love make you be a fool. I mean, if you got it, you a baller or something, it's not gonna make no difference in your wallet. But then, and you want to do that, I mean, I guess that's fine. Some people do have it like that, but that doesn't sound like the case with you. You're going from paying rent to scrimping and saving to buy this place, and now you finally got it. Don't be stupid. Lock your shit up. I don't know. I don't know. Well, gay and fabulous ones be too loud for me. They just be talking too loud. It's just too much flam. I can't. I'm a very quiet. I just need quiet. I need silence. I need time to think. So I can think about the stuff like I was telling you guys at the top of the show. I'd be thinking about random stuff, just crazy stuff. But I need the space and the time to do that and analyze, and then I bring it to you guys on the show. So it's like I can't do it when it's too much racket around and stuff. That's why I can't be in my relative's house for too long. It's too many people and it's just noise and the kids and it's just too much activity and the loud music and people talking and singing and I just can't do it. I got to go home. I need some silence. I gotta find myself again. So, I couldn't do that. But um I just want her to think about this. And the main thing I want you to do is go and spend a little money and see what they call in the UK a solicitor. And so that person can explain to you the pros and cons of the moves that you're about to make and how you should do it to protect yourself and your investment. And so that most likely they're going to tell you what I just told you is don't let anyone move in with you unless they have a firm rental agreement and they're paying rent. They're paying a agreed upon portion of the utilities. They're buying their own food. Okay. Their roommate. The expectations are very clear and the roles are very delineated. So this situation with him, he already showing you he's an asshole, thinking he's gonna move up there and live for free. He's already giving you the clues. Don't let him move in there. I'm telling you, that would be the biggest mistake you could make. Biggest mistake of you could girl, and you're gonna be having trauma trying to get them up out of there. Question number 20. Oh, wait a minute. I see question 26 here. She's put 25 on the cover. I've been scammed. There's actually 26 questions. Okay, well, anyway, two more questions. Oh, 25. Male, 22 to 27, location not provided. Some issue. Am I wrong for refusing to give my college fund to my nephew after my sister found out about it? Hi, Deb. I need to run something by you. For the past 6 years, I have been working on different jobs in my shithole of a country in order to save up and get a real education and a proper job later. My parents were always promising to pay for it, but they never did. At some point, I managed to get a scholarship and I used saved money for housing and other bills and spendings. I have a sister and she has a son. She was always complaining how no one ever helped her with money, just like me. But unlike her, I wasn't mentioning it that much. I've never mentioned the fund, but my parents have accidentally revealed to my sister at the latest family gathering. Then my sister immediately turns to me and asks to donate the remaining money to her and her kid, saying I could move back in with my parents. My goddamn parents agree with her because, quote, family helps family, but it ain't their money. I obviously refused because I've been saving up for years and now I'm going to need it. Then my sister and my parents just turned red, accused me of being a selfish prick. I quickly fled the family gathering without asking other family members what they think about it, but I really don't know if I'm doing something incorrect or their reaction was wrong. Their reaction is wrong. That's your money. I'm glad you left, and I want you to make sure that nobody can get access to your bank account or your cards or nothing. Okay, lock that shit up. Put it somewhere where nobody can. You don't need to be carrying it on you all the time so they can get it out your pocket, or you could lose it or something like that. Put that shit in a safe place, in a little safe or something. This is for your future, young man. This is so you can make something of yourself. These people are trying to hold you back. With your sister, what you should tell your sister is, she's sitting up, she has a son, and say, well, bitch, you should have kept your legs closed. But you didn't fucking around and making a damn baby and shit. That don't have nothing to do with me. That my money's not going to go, the motherfucker that got you pregnant, go get the money from him. But that's what you should be asked for money, not me. That ain't my kid. You ain't my woman. And parents, unless you gonna give her money out your pocket, don't ask me for shit. If I wanted a kid, then I could go have me one. But that ain't mine. And that has nothing to do with that kid. Is my responsibility. All you motherfuckers need to understand that shit. I'm not giving you shit for that kid. Okay? And I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. Because I just really don't care about it and I don't care about you either. So, if you had said something like that, you would have left them all with their mouth hanging open and they would never bother you again because they would be very clear on the fact that you ain't going to give them shit. So you luckily have someplace else to live. I suggest you stay there and put them on, block all their numbers because they're going to be harassing the fuck out of you. And then just do what you need to do. You got a scholarship, you in school now, you got yourself a place to live, you got a little job and stuff. You're on your own. Stay there. Don't go visit, don't go back to that house. I don't care what they say to you. What kind of thing they try to do. Don't go back there and don't talk to them. You get through school, put all your energy into your future and your success. Okay? Stay grounded and stay focused. You'll do well. But just don't weaken. Don't give them nothing. Don't say, "Well, I'll just give you $20." You're not gonna give your ass shit. Not a one red penny. Not one shilling. Nothing. Okay, 'cause I forgot where he said he was. Oh yeah, no case enough, right? Well, see, I don't know. You said shit about the country. I don't know what kind of currency you have, but whatever it is, whatever the lowest amount of money is, you ain't giving them that either. Now, the final question number 26. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Toronto, Canada. Summary of issue is someone saying, quote, I hate that you feel that way, end quote, dismissive to you. Well, is it dismissive? I don't know. I just hate it. Yeah, I guess it is dismissive because it just feels like they're just saying, well, fuck you then, without actually saying it. Summary of issue is okay. Backstory. I was texting the guy I've been seeing. We had like a couple of nice dates and hung out quite a bit. He's always complimenting me, telling me he misses me and that he's super sweet. But I haven't seen him in a few weeks. Okay, well, he ain't your man, then you ain't seeing him then no more then. I asked to see him before he left for a trip today, and he said maybe, and then never got back to me about it. So I told him I felt like he was messing with my head, didn't want to see me, etc. All he said was, I hate that you feel that way. So immediately I felt like he was just saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, that is what that means. Then he explained that he's been working a lot, hasn't had time to do anything because he gets up at 3 a.m. and wanted to relax before he left today. I didn't feel the need to push him about it because if he doesn't like me, then he just doesn't like me. But how would you take that response if it were said to you? And you haven't seen him for a few weeks and he just filling you with words? You don't think that that's like a player at work? That's how they do. They try to date you by text because that keeps you focused on them, which is their game. While you're focused on him, he's focusing on Sally, Sue, Rhonda, Mary Louise, and Karen, and you just focus on him, and that's he's doing the same game with all those other women as well. So each one of y'all is sitting up there waiting for him to come over to call and talk to you and take you somewhere and spend time with you while he out just doing everything with everybody. That's how that works. That's why these guys do this. Because for certain women who don't understand the game, you getting some texts and you getting some come on phone calls and he's complimenting you, telling how much he missed you and all this other shit here. You think that shit means something. That's like a script. That's a seduction tactic. It means absolutely nothing in the real world. Okay, because men will show you how what they will feel about you. Okay, and if they really want into you, you can't get rid of them. They be up in your face. I mean, you can't even fart without him being there. He's like, "Oh, what's that delicious smell?" But this guy, he really don't care about you. He's just doing enough just to keep you so that when he decides he's back out of town, Oh, let's get together, then you're gonna be ready. So this, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hate you feel that way. To me, that doesn't mean anything. So I would have just asked him when he said it, it's like, okay, well, I feel that way. What are you gonna do about it? And then he would have had to confess he wasn't gonna do shit about it, and then you would know what time it was. But you didn't ask him that question. You asked him that question, then you would know that he ain't about nothing and that you was just wasting your time. Now I want to remind you guys, I got something to show you here. This is coming up. We're going to do a webinar on February 14th on Black Love Day. Love Yourself First webinar. That's what I'm calling it. How to identify partner disrespect in relationships and what to do about it. You can scan the QR code. There's it on the flyer. There's no page for this on YouTube because it's not going to be on YouTube. It's only going to be aired here, and you have to be a paying member of the event to see it. The recording will not be on YouTube. It will not be shown anywhere. I probably won't even record it, but I might just for my own purposes. But it will not be shown to you. Now, if you want to scan the QR code. Oh, I thought I was going to show it big, but it didn't. Oh, well, I messed up. I know what I need to do. Sorry about that. But anyway, if you got your phone, just hold it up to the screen and you can scan it. It'll take you right to the information page so you can sign up. It is only $10. I try to make the price really cheap so you can have maximum participation. And it's not until February. I will be showing you this several more times over the coming weeks, months rather, until we do the actual event. Here's another version of it. I think I made like 4 or 5 different flyers for it because I just couldn't decide what I wanted to do. But there you go. That's how do I get rid of this damn thing? Oh, okay, there we go. That's the event we have coming up. Love yourself because to me, that is the key to every single relationship issue that comes across this channel. These people don't love themselves enough, if at all. So even when they do show themselves some kind of love and self-caring, they doubt it. They question it, like the little last guy. Was I wrong? Did I do too much? So he's questioning his love of himself and his taking care of himself and prioritizing himself. As if you really have true confidence and really are about, making sure that you do take care of yourself. That should never come up. That should never be a question. It's just a given that you're going to do the best thing that you can do. I'm so glad that you were here too. This is a good time. Maybe I'll just start doing because I'm telling you this since the time change, every year it gets worse and worse for me. It takes me longer and longer to get recalibrated. And so I start getting sleepy like at 5:30 in the evening. And a couple of nights by 7 o'clock, I was out cold. So doing the show not starting until like 6 o'clock was my usual time. I can't do it. I'm too sleepy. So they have to keep moving the show. So maybe, I just start doing it in the mid-afternoon. Shay says she be getting off of her part-time job at 4. So then we're on the West Coast. She up north a little bit from me. But if I started like say 3:30 or something like that, that's 6:30 for all my see, that's for the people on the East Coast and stuff, it's 6:30 and for the mid-tone zone people that's 5:30. So I mean that might work better. We'll see. Did catch some new people this time and some faces I haven't seen in a minute. So we'll give that a try and we'll see what happens. Okay. The next show though is scheduled for Sunday and we'll hope that I can make it. If not, then you see me at 3:30 on one day during the week. All right, with you guys. I'm glad you guys are back. Everybody had a good turkey day, and we will see you guys soon.